Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Well, welcome back everyone to NXTGEN Racing on YouTube. Welcome back to a brand new season here on Thursday nights at NXTGEN Racing. This is the GT3's Season 8. Fantastic to be here yet again, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for round one of the championship at the foothills of Mount Fuji in the Oyama region of Japan. But for these drivers, there's a whole new mountain to climb as we start a brand new season here at NXTGEN Racing in the GT3 championship. We have got 3 champions from last season looking to defend their honours this season, and let's see who is going to be the champion at the end of this 10-round calendar. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Alex Everett, your commentator for the season for all 10 rounds of this championship, and this is the 8th season of GT3s. It hasn't always been GT3s, it has mixed in with prototypes and other categories every now and again, but this is pretty much now a stable GT3 championship season on season. I've been doing this now for 4 seasons, I believe. I might be wrong about that. But it's fantastic to be back here for NXTGEN Racing for yet another season. Welcome along to all of you watching, and welcome along to all the drivers that are competing. This season, there are 57 drivers signed up to this championship, which I believe is the record for the Thursday night here at NXTGEN Racing, and a record number of teams as well. 17 teams are signed up to the championship and will fight it out for the team's championship this season. It's become all the more important season by season, and 17 of them will fight it out this season. And of those 57 drivers in 17 teams, there are 46 of those drivers that are in teams. So it is a full-on teams championship. They all work together to get themselves at the front of the drivers' championship, at the front of the races, and of course at the top of the team's championship. So the format for this championship is as follows. The drivers have a practice session which is ongoing right now. There's approximately 12 minutes remaining of that. And then once that finishes, we'll be going into a qualifying session. So this is just one of the 2 formats that are in this championship. And tonight we are using the sprint race and feature race format. So we'll have the qualifying to start us off on the hour, 8 o'clock UK time. And that will set the grid for the sprint race. That will be a 20-minute race. And once that has finished, we'll go for a quick break. And then after that, it will be a 1-hour feature race, of which each category in the championship they will be sorted in the grid by the results of the sprint race, but reversed. So if you win your category in the sprint race, you'll start the back of your category for the feature race. So the feature race is always very, very exciting. Not a lot of time really in GT3 racing is 1 hour to get yourselves back to the front of the grid. It is also a fixed setup series, and what that means is it's kind of like a spec series, but there are multiple cars in this championship, but it means that the drivers cannot change anything on the setups of their cars. In actual fact, the only thing they can change, to my knowledge, is brake bias. So that is the only thing they have at their disposal to change the handling of the car, and brake bias is quite significant on iRacing, but they're not allowed to change ride height, tyre pressures, wing angles, damper settings, gear ratios, nothing like that. They cannot change any of that. It is out of the box. Whatever car they drive is the car they'll drive as it is. It's a 10-round championship, and there are multiple classes, and the reason I like multiple classes and multiple categories, I like to call them, in racing, is so that drivers that are lower down the field have something to fight for in the championship. It's split in thirds. There's the gold category, which typically comprises of the top third of the drivers in the field, and the middle third are the silver category, and the lower third, the lesser experienced drivers, will go into the bronze category. That's all categorised. All the drivers are categorised before the season starts, so we will have knowledge heading into this round of who's in gold, who's in silver, and who's in bronze. And we have all 3 champions from those categories taking part this season, and all 3 of which are actually in the gold category. More news on that later. It's an all GT3 championship, so all GT3 machinery from iRacing is at use for this championship, and just announced is going to be the Aston Martin GT3 releasing soon, so maybe we'll get that later in the season. We'll have to see. Now, there is a live race director in this championship as well, so safety cars, or four-course cautions as they're actually called in this championship, will be used if it's needed. If there is a massive incident or a threat on the track, then a four-course yellow will be called and it will bunch up the field, and that can sometimes make for some very, very interesting, dramatic turning races. And of course, there is another format to this championship. Tonight we'll be racing the sprint race and feature race formats, but there will also be endurance rounds this season. 3 of the 10 rounds will be endurances, and they are 2-hour endurances with no qualifying, and the grid set by the championship order of each category, but reversed. You can still take part in this series if you wish to. There are spaces still available, believe it or not, and you can get involved. If you scan the QR codes to the off-center of our screen there, you will get access to NXTGEN Racing's Discord server, and from there you'll meet the drivers, you'll meet the admins, and of course you can get signed up to the championships. You can just join the Discord server if you're just a fan of the championship, you just want to get involved in the banter, see all the communication going on, and keep an eye on the news that NXTGEN Racing have. Feel free to use that. And if the QR code doesn't work for you or you can't scan it, there is a link to our Discord server in the description of this video if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook. And lastly, before we move on to the calendar, a big shout out to the partners, sponsors and affiliates of NXTGEN Racing that include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC, and Doble Motorcycles. So without further ado, here is the calendar for the season for the next couple of months until the 13th of November. We're starting off round 1 here at Fuji International, which, fun fact, it also started at season 6. So it's a good opening round of the championship. Nice, wide, long, fast track to start us off for the season. And then next week we're off to another fairly fast and wide track, but the Red Bull Ring. A lot less corners at that circuit, but an iconic stable in the Formula 1 calendar will host round 2 of the championship on the 4th of September next week. It will be a week break between rounds 2 and 3, but when we come back for round 3, it will be the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship, and that will be hosted at the Spa-Francorchamps GP circuit. What a fantastic circuit, one of my favourites. It's on the Mount Rushmore of circuits of the world. Really looking forward to round 3 in Belgium. And round 4 will be hosted at the Imola circuit. A much more narrow track, but a very fun track, a real driver's driving track. But round 5 is a little bit of a different one, I would say. Thruxton circuit will host round 5 of the championship. Not traditionally a GT3 circuit, but it will be hosting this championship. It was widely voted by the drivers to be in this season. It's recently incepted into iRacing, and it features in this championship, so that's going to be a nice round to look forward to, and that'll see us out of the first half of the season. And the second half of the season traditionally starts with another endurance round, the second of 3, and that will take place at Daytona Road Course, which the last time it featured on the calendar in season 6 was the season closer, but this will start the second half of the season at Daytona Road Course, traditionally hosting the 24 hours of Daytona in January, but it will host round 6 in October for us. Laguna Seca, probably one of the smallest tracks on the calendar this season, will host round 7 of the championship, and probably the track that would be more difficult to overtake at. That'll be hosting round 7 of the championship, where difficulty to overtake also means varying strategies. And round 8 of the championship, we're back in Britain for the second time this season. It will be at the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit in Kent. That will host round 8 of the championship, and the final sprint and feature race format race round of the season will be hosted at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. We raced there 2 seasons ago. There's a lot of circuits from season 6 that have come back for this season, and that will host round 9 of the championship on the 6th of November. Then just a week later, it will be the Sebring International Circuit, a very traditional GT3 and endurance racing circuit. We'll host the final round of the championship and will crown our champions of the gold category, silver category, bronze category, and of course the team's championship. And these are the cars the drivers are allowed to choose from in this championship. Now, of course, the Aston Martin is recently announced to be coming soon after the next week 13. Well, on the next week 13, I believe it will be. But these are the 10 cars that the drivers can choose from to race in this season. There's the Acura NSX, the Audi R8 LMS Evo 2, the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911 R992. And of course, if drivers want to change their car midway through the season, it will come with a points penalty. But the drivers have already chosen their cars, and actually there is quite a large variety of cars. Now, last season, it was very much the Porsche and the Mustang that were the favoured cars last season. This season it is kind of evened up a little bit, and there's a lot more variation in the field. I'm noticing there's quite a lot more Lamborghinis I'm noticing, which is very, very interesting indeed. But there's still a lot of Mustangs in the field, a lot less Porsches in the field, but it seems to be a pretty good mix, which is, it's nice. It's very nice, and it's going to make for an exciting series indeed. So what about round one? Starting off today, it is here at the Fuji International Circuit, as mentioned, in the foothills of Mount Fuji. We're about 100 kilometers southwest of Tokyo and about 50 kilometers east of the region of Greater Tokyo. This track was built in 1965, and this version has been in existence, part of this racetrack, since 2005. The only variation that we've got in this layout today is we're missing the chicane, which heads into turn number 11 and 12. We are skipping, so it is just a right-hand kink, and we will miss that chicane. The Grand Prix layout without the shortcut, without the chicane, it's a 14-turn track. Of course, we're skipping 11 and 12, as we mentioned, so therefore it makes it a 9 corners to the right and 5 corners to the left, a 2.8 mile or 4.5 kilometer circuit. And we know it very well for hosting the WEC 6 Hours of Fuji every September. That's coming up soon, actually. And it also has hosted the Formula 1 Japanese Grand Prix on a few occasions, 1976 and 1977, but also there was a very infamous races in 2007 and 2008, and there's a very famous clip online of Robert Kubica and Felipe Massa having a ferocious battle in the wet on this track. And if you haven't seen that clip, definitely check it out after this live stream, of course. Okay, so that's the large majority of the rambling over and done with. You've got me to carry on rambling throughout the rest of this broadcast. So let's introduce you to some of the drivers in this field. As we mentioned, there are the gold, silver and bronze categories. I'll just reiterate that the gold category typically comprises of the drivers in the top third of the field. Middle third of the field typically go into the silvers, and the lesser experienced drivers go into the bronze category. Our champions from last season are as follows. We have got Stephan Wessels, who is top of the pile at the moment, fastest in practice. He goes as he means to carry on from last season. He won last season in a dramatic final round, and the reason I say it was a dramatic final round is because it definitely was. It was one of the most dramatic moments in sim racing I seem to recall. But on the final lap of the race, Benjamin McCluskey, his championship rival, had the championship in his hands, and halfway around the final lap, an internet disconnection for Benji McCluskey happened, and therefore it handed the championship to Stephan Wessels. Now, to Stephan Wessels' credit, you've got to give him credit where credit's due. All season long, he was putting in a lot of wins and really piling the pressure on Benji McCluskey, and it really did go down until the final few laps and the final pit stops of that race. Great battle between the two of them. It is a shame that it ended the way it did. But Stephan Wessels comes into this championship as defending champion, and he moves from the Porsche to the Ferrari for this season, but still representing CSA Team Woza in a nice stylish new livery this season. And the defending champion, well, not going to be defending champion from silver category, as he's now in gold category, but Jeffrey Kruger. Now, only a couple of seasons ago, he was a driver in the bronze category, and he won the championship in season 5, I believe it was, in the bronze category, and since then he's moved up to the silver category, and now he's in the gold category. And of course, last season he won in the silver category, won the championship in very dominant fashion, actually. Well, not very dominant, actually. It was quite a battle between him and Matthew Cheverton, but for the majority of the season, Jeffrey Kruger was leading the championship. But a valiant battle between him and Cheverton throughout the season. He comes into gold category as a champion of silvers, but he's got a lot of work this season. It's going to be very, very hard for him this season, but we'll see how he gets on. It's exciting to see how he will get on. But speaking of which, bronze category champion from last season, representing Mission R Motorsport last season, and again Mission R this season as well. Adam Wilson-Weir, not only does he get the promotion from bronze category, he's had a double promotion. He's been fast-tracked like a good old-fashioned Ryanair flight straight up to business class into the gold category, and he's 7th in practice right now, so he's no slouch indeed. He dominated bronze category last season, did Adam Wilson-Weir, and therefore he has been put into gold category this season. He's certainly got the pace to do it. So let's see how he gets on this season. And just like that, we are heading into qualifying. So qualifying is traditional format. It will be a 20-minute session where all drivers are out on the track. And actually in the server right now, there's 46 drivers. So it's going to be a busy track out there. It's going to be a lot of drivers really struggling to find their place where they want to be on the track, find their teammates. Of course, there's 17 teams out there and 46 drivers of which signed up anyway are part of a team in this championship. So here we go, we are away with qualifying, and straight out onto the track. The first one out there is Lucas Seidel. He did some of it last season, but he took a break about halfway through, I believe. But he's back this season, so it's good to see him back. And Benji McCluskey. Now, we were suggesting towards the end of the race, round 10 last season, he was going to become a double champion. He is not anymore. The number 1 is not on his door. So he is coming back, I assume, with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, a bit of a vengeance to try and avenge that championship that slipped away from him last season through no fault of his own at all. So let's see how he'll come out of the doors for round 1 tonight. There's a couple of drivers that have moved categories this season. Notably, Jochen Seeger has moved down into the bronze category now. Jochen Seeger has actually done pretty well in the silver category in the past. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on in bronze category this season. Representing the Écurie Col d'Oisseux team. And there are so many teams this season. There's a couple of new teams as well. I'm going to try and pick out a few drivers from said new teams if I can catch them out. Now, of course, it is a new season, so here we got Harry Hartley Price will pick on for this new team. It is the Clark St James Motorsports. They've got 2 teams, red and blue, so a big welcome along to them. We also have plenty of Mission R teams. There are 4 Mission R teams in total this season. They had 1, I believe, a few seasons ago, and they had 3 last season, so a rapidly growing big contingent of this championship. And we were talking about Lucas Seidel just a moment ago. His team, 3 drivers, himself, Kyle Griffiths, Dominic Pester. They'll be representing the Sorrento Motorsports team. Right, we're off with qualifying. We are on the flying laps right now. So let's get the track map loaded up. And let's just keep an eye on drivers out there. So Ben McCluskey seems to be one of the fastest in the first sector at the moment. You can see he's got a purple first sector right there at the bottom of our screen. But qualifying here is quite a long session. Drivers will get around about 4 to 5, maybe even 6 flying laps out there. And somebody has actually eclipsed Ben McCluskey there in the second sector. Lucas Seidel just ahead of Ben McCluskey. So McCluskey's actually staying quite close to Lucas Seidel just ahead there, getting plenty of slipstream. Now, it is a very fast track here at Fuji International Speedway, so slipstream is going to be quite effective here. They are limited on their gear ratio, so down this back straight, it might be that you'll be able to catch up a little bit to the car in front, but actually getting past them is going to be quite difficult. So let's see how these drivers get on. Lucas Seidel will be the first to complete a qualifying lap here in Season 8. Top of the standings. What about Ben McCluskey? He goes ahead. Gaz Williams just behind into second place, but straight into the 36s for Ben McCluskey. What about other drivers? First in the bronze category to set a time is Jochen Seeger. He goes in with a 1:38.1 to start us off in the bronze category. Silver category yet to come through. Jack Pittas, he had a very good debut, breakthrough season last season, was always contending for the top 5 in the championship. And let's see what he can do this season. To the top, temporarily here, provisionally, of the silver category is Andy White in the new team we were just mentioning, the Clark St James Motorsport team. He's into the top spot of the silver category, which has just been beaten by Jason Raff, who did win a race last season at Portimao in the silver category, so certainly keep an eye on him. And he's a CSA driver, and we know they are highly capable of wins. Jonathan Berry, second place in bronze category last season, part of the Mission R team. Very much in the shadow of Adam Wilson-Weir last season, but still put in some very, very good performances. I would definitely put him down as a potential favourite in the bookies for bronze category championship this season, so certainly keep an eye on him in this bronze category. But it's second at the moment for him in qualifying here at Fuji. Now the sun's broke out a little bit. There is a bit of a threat of rain, I've been told, but it's looking okay right now, he says. We'll find out. I have cursed it in the past. Now, Stijn Weitens, multiple race winner in the bronze category. Let's see how he gets on in this opening lap. He is now racing for Mission R, so it's his debut for the team this season. And he has set an invalid lap there, but straight back to the top of the standings is Lucas Seedor. Ben McCluskey didn't go quicker. Gaz Williams did, and he's put himself ahead of his teammate into second place. And Lucas Seedor goes back to the top of the standings. And Ben Altria, brilliant lap from him. He won a race last season. I believe it was at Zandvoort, if my memory serves me right. I have got the stats somewhere in my book. But he's gone to second place in the standings. Very, very good performance so far from him. Jack Pittas up to third place. A new driver this season, Kieran Davidson. He puts himself into fourth place. So Ben McCluskey being pushed further down. And Jason Raff with a brilliant second lap from him. He moves up to second place overall, but first place, more importantly, in the silver category. And just behind, in second place, is debutant for the Mission R team. Debutant to the championship, Brandon Vincent Squibb. The Scottish driver for Mission R goes into second place. This is quite a close pack here, with McCluskey just behind Lucas Seedor. And look at that. Jeffrey Kruger, last season silver category champion, to the top, to the near top of the standings. Second place for him at the moment. Looking forward to seeing what he can do in gold category this season, and that is certainly a good case. Likewise with Adam Wilson-Weir, third place in gold at the moment, less than a tenth off of second place there, and less than a quarter of a second off top spot. So this is a really, really good showcase from Adam Wilson-Weir here. Now the track is warming up. It must be warming up as drivers are banging in the laps now. Ben McCluskey goes top of the standings, and he has gained on Lucas Seedor a little bit here. The ex-number one driver is now number one in this qualifying session here. Now, we are still waiting for a lap, I believe. No, we're not. Stephan Wessels is down in 17th, but 10th place in category at the moment. Let's keep an eye on him as Andy White, just to mention, has gone 9th overall and second place in the silver category. Now, the reason I'm mentioning overall positions is because we will be switching to the overall standings very shortly. And it's because the grid for the sprint race will be a hybrid grid of all drivers mixed together. So it is your overall position that's going to count, but the drivers will still get a bonus point if they're pole position of their category. But as I mentioned that, to the top of the standings, only by 0.04 of a second, is Stephan Wessels, the defending champion, just nips in front of his last season's rival, Ben McCluskey. To the top of the standings he goes, back on form, albeit a slow start to this session, 8 minutes in. And Vincent Squibb on his debut tonight is in first place in the silver category. He's nipped ahead of Jason Raff. And just a moment ago we did see Andy White go to third place. He was second place, now he's third place in the silver category. Now what about the bronze category? Jonathan Berry to the top of the standings here, just shy of 2/10 clear of Jochen Seeger. Now I do think that Jonathan Berry, Jochen Seeger and Stijn Weitens actually are all contenders for the bronze category championship, but there are outside threats as well. Elwyn Sykes 2 seasons ago was the bronze category champion in season 6. Let's see what he can do. He didn't have a good season last season, I must be honest here. He's disappointed himself with it, so we'll see what he can do this season. Andy White to the top of the silver category standings. Brilliant lap from him there. Over 2/10 clear of Brandon Vincent Squibb. And we did see Kurt Van Honecker. Now, he's had a season off. He was racing season 6, And he's back now for Season 8 in the GT3s, and he's put himself into 4th in the bronze category. The halfway point, we'll switch to the overall standings, and then we'll get an idea of the mixed hybrid grid we're going to have for this opening sprint race of the season. Dominic Pesta, new driver to this season, the Austrian driver for the Sorrento Motorsports team, 4th place in the gold standings here. He'll be very much supporting his teammate Lucas Seidel. He's down in 10th at the moment, but we'll see what he can do later on in the session. But a good start for the debutant, the fastest debut driver at the moment in this session. Now a good middle sector from Lucas Seidel. Let's just check in on him. He's approaching the end of the lap here. Across the line he goes. Lucas Seidel goes to 4th place. Good lap there. There's probably still some time in the tank for him, but it puts him nice and high. But he's dropped to 5th now as Ben Altra. He's in good form at the moment tonight. In the Mustang, there's a lot of Mustangs up there. They're taking up the top 4, top 6 as well. Half the top 6 taken up by Mustangs at the moment. Ben Altra is one of them for the Full Tilt Racing team. He's in 3rd place right now in the gold standings. Matthew Cheverton, worth keeping an eye on him. My most recent broadcast for Next Gen Racing was in the NXTCC, and I believe the last round that I broadcasted, he won 3 races on the trot in the blue lobby. So certainly no slouch is Matthew Cheverton. I would say that touring cars is more his pedigree, but in the GT3 racing, he has been in the silver category championship battles for many, many seasons, including Season 5, Season 7 last season, and no doubt this season. Stephan Wessels set an even faster time just then. He's gone to a 35.5, and he is just under quarter of a second clear of Benji McCluskey at the top of the standings there. Now, something new on the timing tower I am noticing, and I'm sure you have as well, is we do have local flags appearing next to drivers where applicable. So if they get black flags, meatball flags, yellow flags, anything like that, blue flags as well, it will appear on the timing tower, which is a nice feature. Gaz Williams goes to 3rd in the standings. Gaz Williams is always quick. Absolutely always quick. He wasn't really in the championship fight last season, but he was always there looking for podium places. And he was fighting for 4th in the championship in the final round last season. But we'll see how he gets on this season. He is, this Gaz Williams we're talking about here, he is the admin of this series. So a big virtual round of applause for the admins, including himself, including others such as Mark Sykes, Jamie Dory, etc., for putting on the show here at Next Gen Racing. Now, oh, here we go. New driver to the top of the gold standings. Here we go. Statement of intent from the new driver. It is Dominic Pesta to the top of the standings. Now, he had a big slipstream from the driver and the chrome livery just ahead of him there. But that helps. That is the help you need in these on these tracks in these sessions. And he goes to the top of the standings. Also, Tim Reed. He's also of the Clark St. James Motorsport team. So they're doing well in the silver category. They're 2nd place and 3rd place at the moment. So a lot of new drivers really showing their colours in this qualifying session, including Jochen Siegert, not a new driver, but in a very beautiful livery there, it must be said. We're going to have a shot of it outside very shortly, but he's more than quarter of a second clear of Jonathan Berry at the moment, so he's really got a good grasp of this bronze category right here. We are just going to switch to the overall standings. There we go. So this will be our overall grid for the upcoming race, the sprint race. Now, of course, it is all going to change potentially in the next 6 to 7 minutes as Jochen Siegert heads into the pits to get himself some fresh tyres, ready for the final part of this session. But yes, it is a mixed grid, so that's why we were looking at Jochen Siegert then, because that's quite significant. The nearest driver to him in 21st place there. The next driver down in the bronze category is in 28th place. So a long way back. There's a lot of cars between him and Jonathan Berry, which is what you need in this series. It's more applicable, I would say, to the silver category drivers and the bronze categories than it is the gold category drivers. But another good example is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. He's in 6th place overall here, fastest of the silver category drivers, and his nearest rival is Tim Reed in 2nd position of silvers, of course, 14th on the grid, so a huge amount of gold category cars between Brandon and Tim Reed. And that's helpful for those drivers that are in pole position. The more cars they have between themselves and their nearest rivals, the safer they are in that position. Okay, so there's a lot of drivers still out on the track, and every now and again drivers nip into the pits to just grab tyres, but none of them are doing it at the same time as one another. Now, since last season there is an updated tyre model, and generally the reviews are very positive about the new tyre model. It generally takes a little bit longer to warm up the tyres, I'm told. Generally they feel a lot more realistic, but it made the handling of the cars much, much different. So it is very new to all these drivers this season. It's like driving brand new cars almost. Now Matthew Cheverton, we're on board with him right here. For the Aztec Racing team in a new livery, a nice bright chrome style red livery there. But he's nipped into 5th place in the silvers, but 17th, he's right behind some of his rivals there, who are in the 3 places ahead. Now they've just been split by Brandon Schmidt, new driver this season in the BMW. He nips into 13th place with gold, 17th overall. Now, Alan McCain here. I have given him the title of the most unlucky driver in Next Gen Racing. Now, he has changed teams. He's changed to Crest Autosport, which, it might not be much of a secret, is my team that I manage. Now, Alan McCain driving for a new team this season. There's a few drivers that are as well. Stein Vatens has moved over to the Mission R team, of course. The Crest Autosport team. They are close to each other in the standings here. Stephen Fry, who you might know very well from the NXTCC, is in 21st place. And Alan McCain here, 23rd. And Nigel Stock, also of Crest Autosport, in 24th place. So they're quite close together as a team. But they're coming into the pits. They'll head back out on the track to try and get a few more laps in. And there'll be around about 2 or 3 more flying laps, I'd say, for the drivers. A 1.5 minute track here at Fuji. Not the longest track, not the shortest track. I imagine the shortest lap time we'll get this season may well be Thruxton at round 5 of the championship. And you can see here, this is our calendar for the season, a little bit obstructed behind it. You can see the rounds there. We have got Red Bull Ring next week, but it is Fuji International this week. Dominic Hester still at the top of the standings. And you know what? If he can secure himself a pole position and the bonus point, crucially, on his debut, that's quite the statement of intent. And it is incredible watching these cars get so close to the inside of these corners here at Fuji. It's one of those tracks where your line has to be absolutely perfect, and the closer you are to the apex, the better your times will be. It's just one of those tracks where precision at speed is so important. So a rundown of our top 10 overall here. It's Dominic Pester at the top with defending champion Stephan Wessels in 2nd place. Season 6 champion Benjamin McCluskey in 3rd place. Carl Griffiths was in 4th place. He's now in 5th place. Gaz Williams in 4th position. Lucas Seedor has put himself into 6th place. 7th place is first driver of the silver categories, Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Ben Altra in 8th position with Adam Wilson-Weir, the defending bronze category champion. Now in gold category is 9th, and Jeffrey Kruger, the outgoing silver category champion, will be 10th in the standings at the moment. Now there's less than 2 minutes to go, which means that drivers crossing the line very, very shortly, in fact now, will be missing out on another lap here, and one of them will be Adam Wilson. No, it won't be Adam Wilson here, it'll be another driver. Ben Altra, yeah. Do excuse me. I don't think he's got himself another lap here. Davide Favo will cross the line. He is done for qualifying. Stephan Wessels is approaching the line. This will be his last chance to try and take away pole position, and he hasn't done it. he was about 2/10 off of his personal best. That's it for him in qualifying. George Stone crossed the line. Can he go any quicker? He had a good end to last season. No, he stays 28th. Adam Wilson-Weir will cross the line next. 9th place for him at the moment. This is a very good start to the season for him. He stays where he is. Francorchamps will cross the line shortly, and Jonathan Berry also of the bronze category. And Jonathan Berry, wow, Jonathan Berry, what a closing lap there. I was just about to say he was near 30th place and 4th in category. He's now 20th place and 1st in category. Brilliant final lap from him there. So we'll have to keep an eye on the rest of the the bronze category. But here we got a few drivers heading towards the line. Matthew Cheverton, also Jack Pittas. He's gone quicker, so has Cheverton. Pittas goes to 8th and Cheverton goes to 2nd place in Silver's 12th on the grid. Brilliant from him. And Harry Hartley-Price goes to 10th place on the final moments there. Dominic Pester, he'll come to the pits. I think he knows he's done enough. We have also got... Now there are drivers heading towards the pits. I've got a feeling we might have had the majority of the drivers now. So that might well be it. Now, in 10th place there, just nipping into 10th place in the final moments there was Brandon Schmidt. But I believe that might be our grid for this session. Done and dusted there. Stephen de Gravelli is completing a lap here, so this might well be another lap. But he has gone quicker. He goes to 9th in bronze, but 38th overall. And I believe he is the lap. No, he's not. No, he's not. There are still drivers heading through. Stein Vatens goes to 2nd place. Oh, he's so close. He was so close to nipping away pole position from one of his teammates there. His new teammate. But in a nice Michelin livery on the Lamborghini there. That's a very good livery. Well done, guys. But 2nd place for Stein Vatens, making it a 1-2 in bronze category for Mission R in their mission this season for bronze category titles. So, our pole sitters in each category are Dominic Pester in the gold category, Brandon Vincent Squibb in the silver category, who's just been put down to 8th position from Jack Pittas, who's nipped into 7th there, and bronze category, Jonathan Berry. 2 newcomers and 1 returning driver to share the pole position honours. And our top 5 on the grid will be Dominic Pester, Stephan Wessels, Ben McCluskey, Gaz Williams, and Kyle Griffiths. Big grid to start us off tonight. 46 drivers. There are 16 drivers in gold category, 16 drivers in silver category, and 14 drivers in bronze category. And of course, the format for the races tonight, we have got the 20-minute sprint race coming up very shortly. And the results of the sprint race will form the grid for the feature race, which will be a 60-minute race. But of that grid, each category will be grouped together. Gold's going first, silver's going second, bronze going third, and each of those grids will be reversed. So the winner of the each category in this race will start at the back of their category group for the start of the feature race. It will all make sense when the races actually happen, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about it. Right, here is the grid for the opening race of Season 8 here at NXTGEN Racing, the GT3 League. It's Dominic Pester on the front row of the grid, and we have to switch to a different grid format here. Do excuse me. There we go. You didn't see that happen. Dominic Pester on pole position there. Alongside him will be Stephan Wessels, Ben McCluskey in third with Gaz Williams, his teammate, alongside in fourth. Carl Griffiths in 5th place with Lucas Seedor in 6th position. Jack Pittas in 7th with the highest silver category driver, Brandon Vincent Squibb in 8th position. 9th, Ben Outra, Brandon Schmidt rounding off the top 10 with Harry Hartley-Price in 11th and Adam Wilson-Weir alongside in 12th. 13th place, Jeffrey Kruger, last season's silver category champion, with last season's silver category runner-up, Matthew Cheverton alongside in 14th. Sean Shute in 15th with Kieran Davidson in 16th. Andy White in 17th with his teammate Tim Reed alongside him. Jason Raff 19th with Jonathan Berry, the highest bronze category driver, in 20th. his teammate and category rival in 21st, Stein Vatens, with Craig Korish in 22nd. From Stephen Fry in 23rd, Oliver Forstrom in 24th. 25th, Jamie Dory, the admin of the NXTCC, is 25th, with Alan McCain in 26th. His teammate on the road back, Nigel Stock, with Jochen Seeger alongside in 28th. 29th going to Wesley Lewin, with George Stone in 30th. Paul Williams lines up 31st, with Phil McDougall in 32nd. Mark Baker 33rd, with Maciek Kiziel in 34th. Elwyn Sykes in 35th, from Matt Gatter in 36th. 37th is Kurt Van Honecker, with Stephen de Gravelia in 38th. Robert Savage 39th, from Mark Sykes, Mr. Next Gen himself, rounding off 40th. Jopi Siemens in 41st, with Shawnee Clark in 42nd. Sammy Arebeth 43rd. 44th is Dirk Wagner. Ryan Blackie in 45th. And Davide Favo in 46th position. That's your grid for this opening race of the night at Fuji International Speedway. Round 1 of the championship. And this is the sprint race, the opening race of the night. It'll be a 20-minute race. Lights the flag. No pit stops, or no scheduled pit stops, should we say, in this race. Whereas in the feature race, we normally get one. But of course, weather impending, it can throw up anything. Many surprises the rain has thrown up in races in the past. And as we're heading towards winter now, particularly in the Northern Hemisphere, where most of the tracks we are racing reside, it means it's going to get a little bit more risky for weather as we head further and further into the calendar year. So here we go. Pace car leads the drivers off. And there's a nice long straight and a big gap on that straight before the start line. Now, the rules are of this championship, there is a designated zone that the drivers must line up and maintain safety car speed. They're not allowed to overtake, they're not allowed to floor it until the lights go green, or should we say the lights go out. Drivers are made aware of these designated areas. And it is down to Dominic Pester to trust in the rules there, read up on them, and make sure he's aware to prevent any penalties for this opening round of the championship. So here we go, Season 8. It's about to get underway. We have our crown champions, but it's pretty much all over now. It's a clean slate for everyone. Who is going to be our 3 champions by the end of these 10 rounds? It starts here on this 1.5 kilometer straight here at Fuji to start the season. The pace car is off. Dominic Pester will lead them to the line, and when the marshal waves his green flag, we'll be underway. And that is now. We are off and away, and straight behind the leader goes Stephan Wessels to fend from his championship rival from last season, Ben McCluskey, who's already trying the inside, but on the outside is Gaz Williams trying to get around Stephan Wessels at turn number 1. There's contact between the two. Wessels is off the track, and so is Gaz Williams. Into the wall goes last season's champion, turn number 1 off the start of the season here, and the champion is already off. He has to wait for all the drivers to pass by, but they all carry on, romping away from him. It's a bad start to the season already for Stephan Wessels. And there is drama further back. I believe there are cars off the track further down the field, which we'll catch up on very shortly. Battling here between Brandon Schmidt and Jack Pittas. Brandon Schmidt has... Oh, and actually that's Lucas Seedor off the track. And I think he's already escaped out because he got turned around and sent into the wall, and there's a lot of drivers tumbling down the order as a result. But I was just about to mention that Brandon Schmidt has had a brilliant start to the race. He's up 5 places already, and Adam Wilson-Weir inside of Jack Pittas going into the right-hander here. He's got the wrong side of the track heading into the next corner. Pittas will defend it, but look at that undercut from Adam Wilson-Weir trying to get back at the inside of the Quatermass driver as they head towards the final corner of this opening lap. Very dramatic lap in this race. Oh, and sneaking back to the inside of Adam Wilson-Weir is Harry Hartley-Price. For the end of lap 1, it is Dominic Pester at the front, leading from Ben McCluskey, Season 6 champion. hoping to be Season 8 champion to get the number 1 back on his door. Carl Griffiths, good start to the race for him. He's up into 3rd place. Now, Gaz Williams has dropped down a lot of places. He's down to 13th overall here, and that's 11th in category. We will switch back to the category drivers later on. And Matthew Cheverton, good start to this race. He's mixing it in with the gold category here, trying to get up towards 1st place in category, which is Vincent Squibb in 5th place overall. So a brilliant start for the 2 silver drivers here. Matthew Cheverton really getting his elbows out and getting stuck in here to the rest of the crowd. Bronze category, however, Jonathan Berry continues to lead. He stays ahead of Stein Vatens, who has a car between him and his rival and teammate. Jonathan Berry up ahead. He's got Alan McCain between him and his 1st place bronze category rival. Oliver Forstrom is 3rd place here, just getting overtaken there by Mark Baker, who's on his inside, but Forstrom is fighting back. The new driver this season for the Quatermass team. He maintains that position. He's 3rd place in the bronze category. Now, Lucas Seedor is out of the race. Now, he had a lot of rotten luck, I remember, last season at the part he took part in. Let's see if we can get just another shot of what happened to Lucas. If we can indeed find it. Nope, I don't think we can. It actually registered as an incident for Lucas Seedor, so we'll have to try and find it. Take note, it was lap 2 and around about turn 4. Maybe a little bit later. Right, okay, so a good lap there from Dominic Pesce. Sets the fastest lap of the race. Near half a second quicker than Benji McCluskey. And he stretches away to more than a second clear. If there was DRS on these cars, he'd be clear of it right now. There isn't. It's purely down to driver pace in these cars, of course. Oh, hang on a minute. We've got an incident for Ben Outre, who's further down the field. Oh dear, yeah, he's all over the place there. Let's just take a look at what's happened to him. Oh, he's got a lot of damage on the car, so I believe it's happened further back. Now, he had a good qualifying session as well. I reckon the car spun it of its own accord. Yeah, damage on the car won't be helping that, so we'll leave Ben alone there. And he's limping back to the pits to get a fast repair. Drivers do get one fast repair that they can use in the pits in the sprint races. They're not ideal to use, but you do get them nonetheless. And a fast repair basically magic wands your car back into life. You can back out on the track and score points in the race. Now, retirements in this race at the moment are Kurt Van Honecker and Lucas Seedor. Still in the race is Stephan Wessels, but a long way down. He's got a lot of catching up to do now. He probably went into the pits as well to take a fast repair, because he hit the wall on the outside of the turn 1, which we just went through there. But this pretty much means that Stephan Wessels will start close to the front of the field, if not the front of the field, depending on the finishes later on, for the feature race. But it does mean he's losing a lot of points here in this race right here. Now, the contact between him and Gaz Williams we'll check on after the race. Got a lot to keep an eye on here. Fastest lap of the race for Benji McCluskey. Now, I assume Dominic Pester had a fastest lap, but it was an invalid lap, so that will mean that Ben McCluskey does, in official terms, have the fastest lap of the race. He picks up the bonus point for the time being. Now, let's see what's going on elsewhere in the field. Let's take a look to silver category. They're right behind a couple of drivers battling here. That was Kieran Donaldson just passing Sean Shute there, and is bunching up a little bit here. It is Andy White and Tim Reed, both of the Clark St. James Motorsport team, working together a little bit here. Oh, and a big dive to the inside from Gaz Williams there on the inside of Sean Shute. And it all bunches up here, and drivers heading around the outside of each other there. Jamie Dory is one of them, right in the middle of that 3 wide there. But he's got Tim Reed alongside him as well. Look at it bunch up here as we head towards the turns 11 and 12, which are missing from this track. Jamie Dory now tucks back in behind Tim Reed. But at the front of that pack, Andy White lost a little bit of track there from Kieran Donaldson, who stretches away a little bit, and he can work on catching Jeffrey Kruger. Good start to the season for Jeffrey Kruger, in the top 10 at the moment, in the top 8 for the gold category. And what a start to the season so far anyway for Adam Wilson-Weir. 6th place in category, 7th place overall. We will now switch over to the grouped standings, because it is the points they score in their category which is the most important feature of this championship. As we take a look up towards third place here, the battle for third place, Brandon Schmidt in the Acuri Col Droisseur team, battling against Kyle Griffiths just ahead of the Sorrento Motorsports team. And the chrome Mercedes there, I have a feeling he's meant to have a different livery there, but for us it doesn't feel that way. But holding third place at the moment is the debutant tonight. Now his teammate is out of the race, I'm told. Thank you, Mark. Collision potentially between him and Ben McCluskey presumably, so we'll have to keep an eye on Ben McCluskey on lap 2, see if we can catch that instant. So thanks for all that, Mark. Now silver category, headed at the moment by Brandon Vincent Squibb here. Great start to the season so far for him and Missionar. They're also leading drivers wise in the bronze category as well, but a long way clear here. 5th place, promoting to gold, will ya? But we saw a lot of that. We've seen a lot of that over the season, where drivers in other categories, just depending on the track, depending on how they're feeling that night, can just get it hooked up and get higher up in the standings. Now we did just see a glimpse of battle between Brandon Schmidt and Carl Griffiths there, a swap for third place. Carl Griffiths has got himself back ahead there. Brandon Schmidt has to tuck back in behind. Oh, but look at this, a little bit of slipstream there. He's going to go to the left line here, which will be the outside line for turn number 1. And there's also side by side between Brandon Vincent Squibb and Jack Pittas, with Adam Wilson-Weir lurking around as well. Now Vincent Squibb drops down to 6th place. Oh, and also I think he's pulled over to serve a little bit of a slowdown penalty there as well, has Vincent Squibb. Now he lets by Adam Wilson-Weir into 6th place, although he might have been letting through his teammate to allow him to attack Jack Pittas. That might have actually been what was going on there. But Matthew Cheverton is really putting the hammer down. He's actually closing in on Brandon at the moment and could put a challenge in for that top spot in the silver category. Tim Reed off the track there. Let's see if we can get a quick replay of what happened to Tim Reed. That's Wesley Lewin facing the wrong way. He's just about to go to a replay there, and something's happened to him. So we'll go to that replay very shortly. Let's just see what happened to Tim Reed first of all. Now, that's Jamie Dory just behind Tim Reed. To the inside goes Jamie Dory, and another car potentially. That's Sean Shute, I believe. And Tim Reed's lucky he didn't turn around there, but he dropped down a few places. Now Wesley Lewin was the next incident we saw. He made his way past Tim Reed. Oh, the car just spins around itself. That's one of those spins where the car starts to go and you just cannot save it. It's just one of those uncontrollable spins that happens on iRacing. It's quite frustrating, actually. Now, the fastest lap of the race, very close between Pester and McCluskey. We can get the fastest laps on the screen here. That's how close they are. Now, it's showing purple for both of them. I don't think that's the case. Pester will actually get the bonus point because he's quicker by 1,000th of a second. That's how close it can be in this series, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, fastest lap of the race gets you a bonus point. Very important when it comes to later on in the season. Matthew Cheverton flashing his lights there. Yeah, Matthew Cheverton does that a lot, I have noticed from last season as well. And in the NXTCC, a flash of the lights there to try and put off his opponents. Now, a few ways up the road there. Oh, actually, I think it was a back marker, actually. He was flashing that, so sorry, Matthew, I'll take that back. Pulling out the way there, that was Ryan Black. He's just about getting out of the way of all the drivers here as they filter through. And Matthew Cheverton will want to close in on his silver rival just up ahead. He'll want the win nice and early in this season. And right behind him is his rival from last season, Jeffrey Kruger, right behind him there. So them two up to their old tricks, but both in separate categories now. Jeffrey Kruger now driving the Mustang. I've always seen him driving the Porsche, so nice, interesting change of cars here for Jeffrey Kruger. We'll see if that favours him this season. New fastest lap of the race for Dominic Pesta. He has gone a little bit further ahead of Ben McCluskey, quicker by just over a tenth on the last lap, but it's still very close between them. 1.5 seconds. One mistake from Pesta could lead to McCluskey really closing in and capitalising on it. Bronze category, just to check in on them. Jonathan Berry still in first place, 18th overall he is. So he's in the top half of the field, which is good going for the bronze category, considering that the field is kind of split into thirds. Stein Vaten's not too far behind as well in second place. And third place is still Oliver Forstrom in the Quatermass car, and just behind is Maciej Kiziel in fourth position. Not too far behind third place, so before the end of the race he could put a challenge in for that podium spot. A bit of silverware in his opening race of the championship. Big trail of cars here heading towards the final corner. A lot of silver category drives in this as well, Nigel Stock being one of them, just ahead of his teammates. Although in a different team, the Crest Autosport cars have two teams this season, one team in the Porsche, Nigel Stock and Alan McCain, and in the BMW is Stephen Fry and Stephen de Grevelier. Phil McDougall, good to see him back. The CXR driver, 8th place at the moment in the silver category. Just ahead of Nigel Stock there, and just behind Craig Corish. The sun's come out here at Fuji. Towards the front now, a 1.6 second lead for Dominic Pesta on that last lap. He was about 2 tenths quicker than Ben McCluskey, so he is stretching it a little bit here. And for third place, it's turning into a five-way or a trail of 5 cars that could threat third place here. That's Carl Griffiths, Brandon Schmidt, Jack Pittas, Adam Wilson-Weir and Brandon Vincent Squibb just at the tail of this battle. Now he's going to be using this battle to try and stay away from Matthew Cheverton, who's back here in front of a couple of gold and silver category cars. Andy White is not too far behind as well, so he could put in a threat for second place as Kruger nips to the inside of Cheverton, both battling same as they did last season. But on the exit there, can Cheverton get a better blast out of the corner? He's getting a little bit of a push as well from Kieran Donaldson just behind. So close between these three as they head down the main straight. To the outside already goes Kieran Donaldson, but look at Cheverton. He's trying to push along. Look at that, he is pushing along Jeffrey Kruger to push him towards turn 1 to get faster and faster. Back onto the racing line, and a bit of a sideways moment for Cheverton there. Might he lose the position to Donaldson here? No, he won't. He'll just about stay in front. Donaldson might have to nip back in behind. And Andy White is getting all the more closer as well. He's third place, lurking around this battle, looking at Matthew Cheverton in the red Mustang, just ahead. Less than 5 minutes to go. Drivers will be planning their moves. Do they settle for their positions, or do they go for the higher positions when they get the opportunity? Of course, racers be racers. They'll go for the gaps, they'll go for the positions when they can sniff them out. Nigel Stock passing Stein Vatens here. Oh, and a near collision moment between Stephen Fry and Stein Vatens. Stephen Fry trying to use Nigel Stock's slipstream to get back ahead of Stein Vatens. Is still side by side. Look at that, round the outside goes Stephen Fry, and he's got good momentum out of the corner. And we will switch over to third and fourth battle in the gold category shortly. Just want to check out this as Stephen Fry is about to finish off. That's a good move from Stephen Fry to secure that position. And Stein Vatens in a little bit of trouble here as Mark Baker's fighting against him here. But Stein Vatens will have the better line for the next corner. Oh, and to his inside. Oh, and there was just about a little bit of contact, but they got away with it. And look at that, the bronze category is now bunched up. Oliver Forstrom is now very near Stein Vatens, so the battle for second place is very much on. The Quatermass driver might be able to put the challenge in the final few laps of this race. Nipping out of the slipstream there is 4th place in bronze category, trying to get himself onto the podium is Maciej Kazil. In 3rd place, got the inside, got the better line. Oh, and he might have the inside of 2nd place. Stijn Wessels here gets a little bit out of shape, so he has to put it back behind Stijn Wessels, but he now has 3rd place. That's the Polish driver of Kazil. Brilliant stuff from him. Good opportunistic move down the back straight there, using the slipstream, which, to be honest, from comparing to the previous seasons we've had here, the slipstream is a lot more effective tonight, I am noticing. Now, we did have a battle for 3rd ensuing a lap ago. Brandon Schmidt has now gone back to 3rd place, so Carl Griffiths is really hanging on to this 3rd place rather well, actually. Every time that Schmidt puts in a real big challenge for 3rd place, Griffiths is able to fight back and just hang on to it. They're a long way behind the leaders, but they won't mind. They've got their own fight here to think about. And there'll be 2 laps in this remaining as the drivers cross the line now. Personal best for Ben McCluskey as he crosses the line just then. The fastest lap of this race is still held by Dominic Pester. And McCluskey has got it back down to under 1.5 seconds. And this battle for 3rd, Brandon Schmidt putting it back to the outside, under braking, but it's definitely not the favoured line around turn number 1. Heading into the kink of 2. Jack Pittas and Adam Wilson-Weir are kind of just spectating this back here. They're just watching this and seeing if it's going to unfold into anything that they can capitalise on. Pittas was a real impressive performer last season, a very consistent performer, and he got himself, I think he had to miss the final round last season. Now, I think in the end he got 6th place, but he was a strong contender for the top 5 all the way through the season. No wins for him last season, but plenty of strong finishes. We'll check back on this very shortly. Oh, hang on, no, we won't. We'll stay with it. Look at that, big dive to the inside from Brandon Schmidt. But he's going to have the outside from the next corner. Will he undercut Griffiths? Yes, he will. Straight to the inside. And can Griffiths get the better line out of the corner? He's going to undercut and go to the outside for the next corner. But can he keep it ahead? He might have to try and undercut on this corner as well. Yes, he's going to do just that. Brandon Schmidt has to try and keep it ahead. But no, look at that exit from Griffiths. He will get behind and into the slipstream. It is now going to be the final lap of the race, and look at that, Griffiths is getting it back alongside. And as they come under the camera here, Griffiths is going to be just ahead, but they're still side by side as they head towards turn number 1. Jack Pittas was just flashing his lights a little bit then, trying putting off the drivers. Later on the brakes was Schmidt, but I think that's going to compromise his line through turn number 1, as Jack Pittas is now looking around, trying to get into that battle. Griffiths has put it back into that position. That's brilliant defending from him. Good battling from the two of them. We will check in on our leaders very shortly, as they'll be completing the race very, very soon. Pittas, no diving moves. We typically don't see Pittas go for diving moves. Oh, hang on. Carl Griffiths has dropped off. Oh, please don't be a disconnection. I've had enough of that. No, he's back in. Oh, that was close. I don't want another round 10 happening tonight. Back in existence now. My classic quote is, the internet disconnection is the sim racing equivalent of an engine blowing up in real life. That very nearly happened to us then. It shan't happen now, hopefully. But out of the final corner to complete this race. It's a debut for Dominic Pester, and it's also a first win of the series. We've got a new name in the winner's circle at NXTGEN Racing in the GT3s. It's Dominic Pester. Across the line he goes. Brilliant, brilliant driving from him to keep Benji McCluskey at bay, but it's a good start to his season. Another bid for the championship for him this season, off to a good start. Carl Griffiths keeps it ahead of Brandon Schmidt and will cross the line for 3rd place on his debut tonight. Brandon Vincent Squibb on his debut in the silver category and in the championship will take some silverware home in this sprint race here. And Matthew Cheverton crossing the line in 2nd place with Andy White in 3rd. And Jonathan Berry will cross the line as first place in the bronze category. He calls himself the P2 bottle job, he calls himself, but not anymore. He's the P1 man. Oliver Forsström in second place. Now, something's happened to Stein Vatens as he's dropped down to fourth place. We'll have to check that out very shortly. But he's in second place is Forsström, and Kazil in third position. They are our top three in each of the categories. We'll go through the results very, very shortly. We've got a few instants to look at. Of course, we have got the lap 1 instant happening to Stephan Wessels. We've got the lap 2 instant where Lucas Seidel went off the track. And we're going to see what happened to Stein Vatens towards the end there as well. So here are the provisional results of the sprint race here at Fuji International Speedway. We'll go through the gold category first. It is Dominic Hester at the top with Benji McCluskey in second, from Carl Griffiths rounding off the podium. Brandon Schmidt, good battling from him with Carl Griffiths throughout that race. Fourth place for him. Adam Wilson-Weir has taken it away from Jack Pittas in the dying moments of that race for fifth place on his debut in the gold category, promoting up from bronze category last season. Pittas, as we mentioned, in sixth place there, with Harry Hartley-Price in seventh from Jeffrey Kruger. In 8th place, and Kieran Davidson in 9th from Sean Shue. Jamie Dory in 11th from Gaz Williams. Craig Corish, Stephan Wessels, due to that first lap incident, is 14th, but will probably start towards the front in the next race. Ben Altria, a retirement in this race, and Lucas Seidel, a retirement in this race. Silver category, it is Brandon Vincent Squibb winning this race in silver category on his debut tonight, with Matthew Cheverton in second place, just ahead of Andy White. Jason Raff in fourth position from Alan McCain in fifth place, and George Stone in sixth position from Tim Reed in seventh. He's dropped down a few places in that race somehow. Phil McDougall in eighth position from Nigel Stock, and his teammate just behind in 10th is Stephen Fry. Mark Baker 11th from Paul Williams in 12th. Jopi Siemens in 13th from Dirk Wagner. Wesley Lewin in 15th from Ryan Blackie. Bronze category, a commanding win for Jonathan Berry. First place for him from Oliver Forsström, in second place from Maciej Kazil. Stein Vatens in fourth position from Sami Ariba in fifth. Robert Savage sixth from Mark Sykes. Jochen Seeger in 8th position from Matt Gatter, and Davide Favo rounding off the top 10 in the bronze category. Shawnee Clark in 11th from Stephen de Gravelia, and a lap down was Kurt Van Honecker and Elwin Sykes. So let's go to the green flag, and let's keep an eye on what happened here too. Stephan Wessels. Stephan Wessels is in the orange and black car on the front row there, to the left, of course. So as we head towards turn number 1, he was guarding the inside from Benji McCluskey. He then goes to the outside where Gaz Williams is. Gets ahead of Gaz Williams, so let's just go there. Oh, there we go. He moves across the track and Gaz Williams is there. And that's it. That sent him into the tyres. Now, it did look like the Wessels did sharply turn left and Gaz Williams was still there. It can be a bit deceptive heading out of a corner like that, knowing if you're on the straight and you are heading straight, of course. Okay, let's move on another lap. Just going to see if we can find the instant we want. Alright, we will find it. We're just trying to find it in the list of many instants we've had on lap 1, actually. This might be it, actually. Oh, we have to go back a little bit more. Lucas Seidel has just dropped out of existence there, actually. So another disconnection there for Lucas Seidel. Let's have a look at Ben Outro, what happened to him there. He's had contact with another driver. It looks like a Mission R driver. I think it's Jeffrey Kruger. Oh, contact with the Quatermass car. And that's what sends him off. The car just completely loses control. Okay, so let's see if we can find what happened to Stein Vatens towards the end there. Stein Vatens on the left. Oh, and there is contact. Only spins rounds. So that's Kazil and Stein Vatens making contact. So let's just get another shot of that. Let's get a little bit a little bit closer. So to the inside there goes Kazil. He's a bit shallow into the entry there. He probably needs to be a little bit more left. And hitting the curb there is just going to bump him out. So it's not going to be able to fit two cars through there with the lines there taken. And that's it. You know, he might be in trouble with the stewards there. Might Kazil. But we'll find out. I'm not a steward. I'm just a commentator. That's just my perspective of it. But we'll see what happens. Stein Vatens got fourth place in the end from that. And Kazil got third position. So just another quick reminder of the top three in each category before we head off. That's Dominic Pester at the top of the standings in gold, with McCluskey in second and Griffiths in third. In the silver category, it's Vincent Squibb in first place from Matthew Cheverton and Andy White in third. And in the bronze category, it will be Jonathan Berry who wins that race from Oliver Forstrom and Maciej Kazil. That's been the opening race of the night here, ladies and gentlemen. The sprint race at Fuji International Speedway will be coming back for the 1 hour feature race in approximately 10 to 15 minutes time. So enjoy some Benji Sim photos, screenshots from our last round, which was round 10 at Le Mans, in the break. And we'll see you very, very shortly for the closing race of the night, the feature race.
and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Welcome back everyone to NXTGEN Racing, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. We're back here for round one of the championship at the Fuji International Speedway, and this is the opening round, of course, of the GT3 Season 8 hosted by NXTGEN Racing. This is a fixed setup series, so the drivers have the same setups all season long, and across cars they have the same setups as one another. They're not allowed to change anything on the cars, can't change ride height, can't change tyre pressures, nothing like that. And that is significant because it is purely down to driver skill in this series and the cars you pick, I suppose. So each car will have different characteristics on and different advantages and disadvantages on certain tracks. So it's all got to be looked into, and it's worth keeping an eye on throughout the season which cars are going to break through as the outright best. Last season it tended to be the Porsche and the Mustang that were the breakthrough cars, but this season it seems to be a little bit of a mixed bag, so we'll keep an eye on that throughout the season. This is the 8th season of NXTGEN Racing. My name is Alex Everett, your commentator on behalf of Crest Autosport and NXTGEN Racing. And if you want to get involved in this series or any other series that NXTGEN Racing have got, they've got Legends Leagues on, as well as the NXTCC, the infamous NXTCC, hosted on Tuesday nights. If you scan the QR codes to the off-center of our screen there, that will give you access to NXTGEN Racing's Discord server. Welcome to anyone. If you are a driver aspiring to compete in this series, or if you're just a fan of NXTGEN Racing in general, you can get involved and keep an eye on the news and keep a check on all the banter that's happening in the championship. And if you can't scan the QR code for whatever reason, if you're watching on phone, for example, you can go into the description of this video and click the link to take you straight to the Discord server. We've got the feature race coming up very, very shortly for this opening round of the championship. We start here at the Fuji International Circuit, and we'll be heading back to Europe for round 2 of the championship in the Styrian region for the Red Bull Ring for round 2 of the championship. Francorchamps will host round 3 of the championship, with Imola hosting round 4. Thruxton circuit, not traditionally a GT3 circuit, will host round 5 of the championship and will see us out of the first half of the season. Then round 6 will be hosted at the Daytona road course, the second of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. Laguna Seca round 7 with Brands Hatch, our second round in Britain, will be hosted for round 8, and the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit round 9. And the third endurance, the championship, will end at the Sebring International Circuit in Florida for round 10 of the championship. So quite an interesting first race of the night. Our winner in the gold category was a little bit distracted by something there. Our winner in the bronze category in the opening race of the night was Jonathan Berry. He came out of Season 1 as the runner-up in last season, and his teammate and winner of the bronze category was promoted up into the top category now, whereas Jonathan Berry will stay in the bronze category and won the opening race of the championship, so a good start to his season. And then in the second category, the silver category, is Brandon Vincent Squibb. He won the opening race of the night, so 2 wins and 2 pole positions for the Mission R team, giving them a good haul of points, but also their drivers doing very well in their respective championships. And of course, the gold category was won by Dominic Pesta. But now we've got a bit of a curveball, and we're heading straight into the next race here. But the little bit of a curveball is it's wet out there. Now we'll see what it is when we transfer over to the next session, but that is something the drivers had to very quickly get used to. And we've got a nice wet race awaiting us in the feature race, and a 1 hour race at that. And even if it dries up later on in the race as well, that's a lovely shot there of the mountains in the background there. There you go. If the rain dries out as the race goes on, that's going to be the curveball in the tyre strategy. So going long might end up being one of the tactics for this race. But we'll go through the grid for this race. We'll see what happens. Stephan Wessels, defending champion, had a bad start to the season. Spun around in the opening corner of the opening lap. But he'll start pole position for this race with Craig Corrish alongside. Gaz Williams in third place with Jamie Dory alongside. Sean Shute, fifth position from Andy White in sixth position, who should be in gold category. Kieran Davidson in seventh position from Jeffrey Kruger in eighth. Ninth place is Harry Hartley-Price with Jack Pittas in 10th. Adam Wilson-Weir 11th from Brandon Schmidt. And then next in category is Carl Griffiths in 13th, and 14th going to Ben McCluskey. Dominic Pester in 15th, 16th is Ben Altria, and 17th is Lucas Seedor. Starting pole position for the silver category is Andy White. Should be Ryan Blackie. I do apologise for that. Wesley Lewin will start next from Dirk Wagner. UOP Siemens in 5th position from Paul Williams. Mark Baker in 7th from Stephen Fry next. Nigel Stock. And then Phil McDougall. Tim Reed. George Stone. And next is Alan McCain from Jason Raff. And then Matthew Cheverton, Brandon Vincent Squibb, and Matthew Addy rejoining the race later on. He missed the sprint race, but he'll join us for the feature race, starting at the back of the silver grid here. Starting pole for the bronze category will be Elwyn Sykes and Kurt Van Honecker. Stephen de Grevelia, third position from Shawnee Clark in fourth position. Davide Favo in fifth place from Matt Gatter. Jochen Seeger in seventh from Mark Sykes in eighth. Rob Savage will start ninth from Sammy Ariba in 10th. Stein Vatens in 11th position from Maciej Kazil. Oliver Forstrom in 13th place, and Jonathan Berry at the back of the grid. So we've got a wet race here, ladies and gentlemen. At least I think it's still wet. So it's going to be very, very interesting. The drivers are going to have to adapt very, very quickly to these conditions, these changed conditions they haven't practiced in, they haven't qualified in, and they haven't raced in. Unless, behind the scenes, anyone has been practicing in the wet, they will be significantly helped here. Driving in the wet on iRacing is very tricky to get used to. I haven't done it for some time, so I couldn't tell you what it's quite like. But a lot of these drivers are going to be nervous right now, but a lot of these drivers will be thriving in this. There's drivers who love racing in the wet, who thrive on it. And we'll see who those drivers are. But Stephan Wessels, defending champion, you would think that he's in a good position here to do some damage in this race, to get out to a nice early lead potentially. But he's also got Gaz Williams in third place right behind him, who's going to be threatening him all the way as well. Okay, so a little bit of spray coming off the cars there, so it's still a wet track. Steph Wessels leads us to the final corner, following the safety car. We'll be starting off what could be a very nerve-wracking race here, so strap in, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be interesting. They'll start in their groups, they'll start the gold category first, and then the silver category will follow later, and then later on from that will be the bronze category. You just see the silver category appearing in the background there. We've got the winners of race 1 at the back of this group. But you've got the defending champion at the front of this group. The lights will soon go green. Stephan Wessels got a little bit of an advantage there. Craig Corsh might be letting him have that, but away they go. The gold category are off and running as they head into turn number 1. It's a good start for Stephan Wessels. Oh, and Gaz Williams, round he goes, and Stephan Wessels and him make contact again. And Wessels might be out of the race. Rear wing missing on his car, but the rest of the pack carry on. Jamie Dory is off and away. And there's Steph Wessels out of the race, potentially. No, he's got going again. Now the silver category, they're away. Jopi Siemens, good start for him, and Nigel Stock up loads of positions from the start. Second place for him already. And the bronze category, they'll head into turn number 1. Oh, Kurt Van Honecker with a very nervous entry into turn number 1. Stephen de Gravelia with a very good move to the inside there. Gets it in front of Elwin Sykes. He's into second place, but Kurt Van Honecker holds the lead of the bronze category from the start here. Already drama. And what we thought could be a redemption race for Steph Wessels, that's gone. That is absolutely gone now. Jamie Dory leads the race in the gold category. Nigel Stock has dropped back behind Wesley Lewin. Oh, and look at this in the gold category. That's great course round. And another driver turning around as well. Oh, and there's lots of contact between the gold category drivers. Here's a spoiler flying off there, or a front bumper. But these drivers might have just about got away with it. But these drivers, remember, they are learning the conditions still. Look at all these swaps of positions. Silver category, Phil McDougall making his way past Mark Baker. Back here, Brandon Vincent Squid. Oh, and it is a safety car. We have a full course caution, so drivers will come to crawling speeds because there's a lot of damage on the track. There's a lot of cars all over the place. So the race steward has called a full course caution / safety car. And it is a little bit like the virtual safety car in Formula 1. The stewards will call the race back on when it is safe to do so. Now, it's not a great time to pit because drivers, it's probably too early on and drivers won't have enough fuel to get to the end if they did pit now. But while we're waiting for this, let's just get another shot of Gaz Williams at the start of that race. Him and Steph Wessels coming together again. And that's Steph Wessels recovering. So here we go. Here's Gaz Williams heading into turn number 1. It just snaps under braking. And he takes Steph Wessels with him. That's Wessels in the pits. And I think we are green flag now. Wessels would have had to have towed back to the pits, so that's pretty much race over for him. So away goes the gold category and the silver category off and away again. A little bit of a lack of rendering in there of some of our cars. Now in the bronze category, Stephen de Gravelia has nipped up the inside there of Kurt Van Honecker, and he'll take the lead of the bronze category. Taking it nice and easy on the straight there is Stephen de Gravelia. Probably the wiser thing to do, particularly as you've got to learn the track in these wet conditions. He's right behind Dirk Wagner there. Oh, and there's a car spun around there. That's one of the Crest Autosport cars. I think that was Nigel Stock. Oh, look at that. Trying for the inside was Kurt Van Honecker. Stephen de Gravelia holding on to it. And these cars are really tiptoeing around these twisty sections of the track here. De Gravelia trying to get past Dirk Wagner here. He's going to look to the inside. Now, wet track overtaking is very, very tricky indeed. Now, what about the silver category? Oh, look at this. Jopi Siemens guarding from Phil McDougall, who's moved up 10 places from the start already. And and there's a contact between the two, and they both spin around. There was slight contact heading into the corner, and it sent them both around. And that now relinquishes the silver category lead. Oh, and it wasn't a great rejoin there from Phil McDougall. Stephen de Gravelia just about avoiding him, and he's got himself ahead of Dirk Wagner. This is a good start to the race for Stephen de Gravelia. Wesley Lewin is now the leader of the silver category, and there's a meatball flag for, oh my, that's a very battered car there for Oliver Forstrom. He has got the meatball flag, and you have to limp it back to the pits. Somehow he's going to get it back to the pits. But this has been a very, very tricky start to the race for these drivers. Jamie Dory, I don't know why our timing tower has swapped around the categories there. It's worse than the IndyCar timing tower. But Jamie Dory will lead this race here from Sean Shoup just behind. There he is with the spray coming off the back of the Audi, the only Audi in the field. Brandon Schmidt, good start to this race. He finished 4th in the previous race. He's now alongside, but Dominic Pester on the outside. He's going around the outside of the two of these. both in this corner. Round the outside he goes, and he's still trying to complete the pass on Brandon Schmidt. In fact, he hasn't. He was just one round the outside, but it was still a good move nonetheless. But that's where these kind of moves come out in the wet. You can chuck moves around the outside of drivers in conditions like this. Oh, and off the track there goes Brandon Schmidt. That will relinquish another position. Oh, and there's a car off at this, over there. That is Kyle Griffiths, third place in race 1, and he's spun round there heading through the kink. And he'll drop down a lot of positions. But Dominic Pesta, the race 1 leader, already up to 4th place. Oh, and Jeffrey Kruger spun round. Oh, this is really not going well. Oh, don't rejoin yet. Please don't. Oh, he's going to anyway. And he's just about got away with that. And he drops down a few places. The silver category champion from last season. Now, Lucas Cedo is back in this race. He had the disconnection in race 1. He's into 11th place here. So we'll see what recovery he can make. Sean Shute in 2nd place. Trying to catch up with Jamie Dory. They've got a little bit of a gap to 3rd place. Dominic Pesta back here. The race 1 winner. Pesta is the fastest lap of the race at the moment. Wesley Lewin, first place in silver category. Quite a way clear of Mark Baker, who's just behind Gaz Williams and Craig Corsh battling here. Oh, and he just tiptoes his way through the hairpin there. Alan McCain right behind him, looking to get further up into the podium spots. And race 1 winner Brandon Vincent Squibb right behind. So a good start to the race for him as well. A lot faster through the corner there, but he had to ease off on the exit of the corner. Dropping down the order is Paul Williams. He's off the track. Let's just see what's happened to him. It moved at the last minute there, so I couldn't quite click it. So let's see what's happened there. We've also had an incident for Maciej Kazil. Oh, he just turns around. He was on the curb, and the wet painted curbs are not a good idea to be on, and that is a smashed up rear end for Paul Williams. That's going to be contention for the race pretty much over. Now, Kazil is... something's happened to him a bit further along. And he's got a rear wing missing there. And he's trying to limp it back to the pits. This might be the one. No, it won't. Yeah, Kazil struggling with a damaged car there. Trying to get back to the pits and get the fast repair. End of lap number 4. Jamie Dory still leads. It's a 4 to 5 second gap from Dory to Dominic Pesta. Now Jamie Dory, I don't think has won a race in the GT3 Championship whilst I've been broadcasting anyway. And we do have some stats actually this season that I've just dug out in the breaks. And actually, little did I know that the driver with the most wins, that's sprint races, feature races, and endurance races, the most wins of all time in the GT3 Championship is Ben McCluskey with 15, and he still has 15. But Stephan Wessels has 14 as of the end of last season. Mark Baker, good position for him at the moment. Didn't have such a good season last season. He was very much around the mid-region of the silver category for the majority of the season. No podiums last season to my recollection. The 2nd place right here is a good start to this race for him. He has got Brandon Vincent Squibb lurking around, and Alan McCain lurking around him as well. Still very wet out there as well. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, Stephen de Gravelli is having a great race here. He's 23rd overall. And he's 1st place in category. He's moved up 13 places overall from this race. So maybe a bit of a wet maestro is Stephen de Gravelli. Maybe. Sammy Ariba is in 2nd place in category. Quite a few corners back, actually. And Sean Clark in 3rd place in category. And Brandon Schmidt fighting with Dominic Pesta has got himself back ahead of the Austrian. Back to the inside goes Dominic Pesta. And Benji McCluskey. Now, Benji McCluskey always takes his time getting through the field. Oh, it's got a bit close between Davidson and Pittas there. But McCluskey takes his time getting through the field, but he's been so good at it over the years, over the seasons. Oh, contact between him and Davidson. Round goes Davidson. And back out on the track. He's tried to hold his brakes there to keep it off, but it just slid him back onto the track, and that will lose him more places. So let's just get another shot of that if we can. There's Davidson on board with him. Turn into the corner. It's quite hard to tell, actually. But it drops him down the order, and he'll be frustrated about that. Passes back into third place, back past Brandon Schmidt. McCluskey's back here, not too far behind his new rival, one of his new rivals, anyway. Loses out to Schmidt in the final corner, but they are closing in collectively. Brandon Schmidt and Dominic Pesta are closing in on Jamie Dory and Sean Shute up ahead. Wesley Lewis still leads in the silver category, and in the pits already is Jeffrey Kruger. Now, is this a tactical stop? I see no flag, so he's not been given a black flag or anything like that, so this could be a scheduled stop for Jeffrey Kruger, so it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening later on in the race due to the varying strategies we're going to have in this race due to the rain. Still leading by 7 seconds is Stephen de Gravelia, and he's actually lapping half a second at least quicker than every other bronze category driver. In fact, he's seconds clear time-wise than pretty much all bronze category drivers. This has been a brilliant drive from him so far. Oh, and there's a driver in the middle of the track. That's Wesley Lewin. He was the leader of the silver category just a moment ago, so let's see what's happened to him. New leader now is Mark Baker. But this is what's happened to Wesley Lewin. Oh, no, the car's going to go around there. Yep, he touched the curb and that's it. And it puts him into the tyres. It's going to be a damaged car as well. It was going so well for Wesley. And it has gone completely undone there. He'll have to limp it back to the pits for a fast repair. There'll be radiator damage on his car. But now the new leader of silver category is Mark Baker in the Acura called Doisseur UK McLaren. But he has got Yester Race's winner, Brandon Vincent Squibb, right behind him. Now we have got Jamie Dory in the pits. Race leader has pitted. He's decided to head in early. Now what tricks is Jamie Dory up to? There's a couple of drivers in the pits. Andy White is also in the pits. Harry Hartley Price. So a couple of drivers gambling in this early part. Going to be that wide. There goes a back marker, I believe, but Ben McCluskey is in front of Dominic Pesta, so something's happened to Dominic as well. I'm not entirely sure what's happened to Dominic, but this is Ben McCluskey passing him. He's just up ahead in front there. McCluskey has just made a classic move into turn 1 there to get through and past. So Ben McCluskey in front. But he's got to work on catching Brandon Schmidt here, who's stretched away a little bit. So let's see if that early stop can benefit Jamie Dory. Quite far down the order now, of course, with that stop, side by side between him and Ryan Blackie. At the end of another lap here, Brandon Schmidt leads his first lap in the GT3s here at NXTGEN Racing. Silver category new leader there is Brandon Vincent Squibb, winner of race 1. And this is how he did it on Mark Baker. Now Mark Baker's quite a way ahead here at the start of this replay. The car's sideways for Mark. And somehow he's kept it going. That's a really good save actually from Mark Baker. But it loses him first place, drops into second. See if he can try and recover it, but Brandon Vincent-Squibb in a very good opportunity here to take a double win tonight. Maybe even maximum points. That would be a good start to the Silver Championship for him. Stephen de Grellier still leads the bronze category, a 10-second lead, quite comfortable here. He's all out on his own there as well, so realistically he just needs to keep it going and time his pit stop just right. And this is well in his hands at the moment, whereas the other categories are a little bit more up in the air. But Brandon Schmidt has had a very good last lap there. He's the only well, not the only driver, but the only gold category driver to get below the 43s. He was about 3/4 of a second quicker than Ben McCluskey on the last lap there. So we'll see how this lap turns out. Last lap of the race again. The track is speeding up, drying out a little bit, and Ben McCluskey only a tiny bit slower on that last lap. Lucas Seedor quite a bit slower, but he's in third place crucially. That's still a good high position for him and can get him some points back on board. Him and Stephan Wessels have lost out a lot tonight already. Now Dominic Pester is in the pits, so is Sean Schutz. Now a couple of drivers are pulling the trigger now. With the changing conditions, drivers heading over to dry tyres. I might have to run an update or something like that between now and next. Oh, as Jamie Dory spins, he might well be on slick tyres then. Yeah, you can just see the tyres spinning there. So grip is still very, very low. It's about timing when you go onto those tyres. Dominic Pester will leave the pits. He might get back out in front of Jamie Dory. But how limited will his grip be? Back out on the track he goes. This is race leader Brandon Schmidt. Will he respond? Will he head into the pits very soon? He'll stay out for another lap. So will McCluskey. So will Lucas Seedor. But yeah, look at this. Schmidt has gone about 2 seconds, near 2 seconds quicker than his previous lap. So it's getting much, much quicker on the track. Still for the wet tyre drivers. Now we'll have to see when Dominic Pester does a full lap. See what kind of a lap time he'll get. But into the 140s now is Brandon Schmidt. And in the silver category here, opening up a lead now is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Very much on track to get himself the maximum points tonight from the opening round, which is quite something to open up with. And Stephen de Grellier looking very good for a bronze category win at the moment here. 16-second lead. Now there might be some drivers in bronze category who've pitted, and that will have some impact on this. But it's quite the lead for him at the moment. Heading around the final corner goes Brandon Schmidt. Another lap will be completed here, and let's see. There's a little bit of a scruffy exit from the corner there, but let's see how much quicker he can go on this lap. Oh, and all the lights just switched off all at once there, which is very weird. 141.7, but Ben McCluskey gone even quicker. He's now below the 140s. 139 for him, so not such a good lap for Schmidt, but a very good lap for McCluskey. Let's see how Dominic Pester gets on. He's nearing the end of this lap, and let's just keep an eye on him because we'll be able to kind of see how his car is handling around these corners. He's still feathering the throttle a little bit, still kind of jerking the wheel a little bit, trying to feel the grip as he loads in and unloads from the corners. No more drivers are in the pits at the moment, not many have gone in. As Dominic Pester crosses the line, it's a 141, so it's not far. It's not far away, whatever tyres he's on. No pit stops yet from this top three. And that lap from Brandon Schmidt is a 139, so he's still 2 seconds quicker than Dominic Pester, so this is looking good for Brandon Schmidt, but Ben McCluskey is lurking as well. He's getting quicker and quicker, and he's lapping quicker than Schmidt ahead of him. Good lap there from Brandon Vincent Squibb. Fastest lap now taken away by Alan McCain, who's not too far behind. Now, Alan McCain hasn't won in category for quite some time, so this could be an opportunity for him. He has got a little bit of traffic around him. He's got Adam Wilson-Weir just ahead of him, and he has also got Davide Favo ahead of him as well, who's a back marker. Stephen de Gravelli is still leading the bronze category. He just got overtaken then by Matthew Shepperton in the silver category. Stephen de Gravelli is still leading by 16 seconds from Sami Ariba. Oh, you can just see the dry line forming on the track, and there's not as much spray coming off the car, so you can definitely see the track is drying out. Smith lapping Ryan Blackie, who moves out of the way. Rules are in this league, blue flag means you do get out of the way. In other leagues and other forms of racing, it has varied rules. Nice and calmly into turn one, and into the 138s now is Brandon Schmidt and Benji McCluskey. So it's still getting quicker and quicker on the track. It's just when the wets will start to fade away. This is our race one winner. Passing Jochen Seeger. Lapped car for him. I would say this is net first of the pitted runners. But actually he is lapping 1 to 2 seconds slower at the moment on average since he's left the pits than the leaders, so it's not looking great for Dominic Pester. But sometimes you've got to try things, you've got to gamble, you've got to just go for something. If your gut tells you something, sometimes it might be right. Complete a lap here, let's see what the time is there. 139.9, so see, it's not a bad time from Dominic Pester, but he's still over a second slower than the top two. Back to silver category. Now Alan McCain is trying to keep it up with Vincent Squibb, and he is. He's got a back marker between himself and Vincent Squibb. You'd be very eager for him to get out of the way. Now we're into the 137s at the front of the grid. So it's still getting quicker and quicker as it gets drier and drier. And that's what I mean. I said at the start, drivers would be going long. They'd be going and going and going until the car or the tyres underneath them will start to slow down. Good lap there from Alan McCain, quicker than everyone else in his category at the moment, with the exception of Matthew Cheverton, who's just set the fastest lap of his category of the race, and likewise with Stephen Gravelia. Matthew Cheverton is up into 5th place, and George Stone is off the track there. And he's battling with another driver here. Can't quite make out who it is. I believe it is one of the Clark St. James cars. Oh, and just snaps under braking. Similar to what we saw with Gaz Williams earlier on. Swap positions between Gaz Williams and Carl Griffiths. Is off the track again there. Same place that he spun earlier on. But look at this, close between Alan McCain and Brandon Vincent Squibb. So Alan McCain putting in a challenge for category win. Oh, and Kieran Davidson has got a meatball flag. From 4th place he was just a moment ago, and he's going to have to go into the pits now. So something's happened to him literally in that moment. So let's see if we can get a replay of it. Oh, he's hit a spun car on the side there, and that's gonna cause the front of the car to be too damaged. Now, I'm not sure who that was, but it means he's going to have to take a pit stop, and he's lucky it was towards the end of the lap, to be honest. Fastest lap of the race set just then by Benji McCluskey, so it's still getting quicker for him. Mark Baker now the quickest in the silver category. So it's really getting interesting in the silver category. Now Mark Baker's still contending in that top 3. That's Alan McCain and Brandon Vincent Squibb just up ahead. Vincent Squibb, who's looking good potentially for a race win here, but Alan McCain has really put the hammer down and is putting in the challenge there. Oh, as we see in the background there, that's Mark Baker going off the track a little bit, and look at this, actually just set a time of a 1:37.37, which is now the fastest lap of the race. Dominic Pesta. So he's now lapping quicker than Brandon Schmidt, but there's been a lot of laps where he hasn't been quicker. In fact, there's been a lot of laps where he's been seconds slower. So I wouldn't say that undercut is in his favour at the moment. As I say that, McCluskey and Schmidt go even quicker. Now I do wonder if actually Pesta is still on wet tyres. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, because it was still rather wet earlier on. An eye on this silver category. Fast lap of the race in silver category for Vincent Squibb. About a quarter of a second quicker than McCain behind him. McCain a lot later on the brake going into turn 1. And Baker's not too far behind here either. Sammy Ariba in the bronze category, lapping quicker than Stephen de Gravelia. Got a bit of slipstream from Dirk Wagner just ahead. Wagner taking a little look at the back marker just up ahead of him. Because, John Berry, there are no battles. Putting it lightly. McCluskey still 1.5 seconds behind Brandon Schmidt. It's just back and forth between them in terms of times. Half an hour expired from this race. They're down into the 1:36, is still getting quicker and quicker and drier and drier. Not too far away from dry times, actually, from the previous sessions. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's get back to this battle here. McCain and Brandon Vincent Squibb side by side heading out of the final corner. Oh, look how close it is down the main straight here. The better line is going to Alan McCain here, so he could well take the lead of this, but if he overshoots the braking into turn 1, oh no, he's broke much earlier than Vincent Squibb, who's taken back that position. Now I'm just going to go back here, and we'll go back to the live pictures. Just want to see how that happened. Heading into the final corner, it looks very dry on the track now. Yeah, just a slow exit there from Vincent Squibb, and McCain capitalises on that. Mark Baker has gone into the pits just on this lap. There you can see him exiting the pits now. So he's decided to pull the trigger now. It might happen for a lot of drivers. Kurt Van Hoeneke's in the pits as well. Quite a lot of drivers have decided to pit on that last lap. So we'll see if some will decide to do so now. The leaders in gold category, nope, they stay out. Taking a nice wide entry, trying the undercut. He's trying exactly what he did on the previous lap. Is Alan McCain, and he's back alongside Vincent Squibb. Vincent Squibb was trying to get into the pits, so actually that might help out Alan McCain a little bit. Vincent Squibb's entry into the pits was compromised there. Ow. He did cross over the white line on entry there. Does it get classified as an unsafe entry? I'm not... can't quite remember. It's been so long since I've driven on iRacing, actually. Tell me in the comments if you can do that. I seem to remember you can, actually. Now Vincent Squibb is in the pits, so we'll see what happens to Alan McCain at the end of this lap. He's got another lap of running before he heads back into the pits. Stephen de Gravalia is still out there in the bronze category. Still in the pits. Now what about the gold category here? Brandon Schmidt still stretching away from Ben McCluskey here. Let's see if these guys decide to pit. Yes, here we go. Now this is the pit period we were waiting for. So delicate on the wheel heading into the pits here. On the limiter, nice and easy. McCluskey follows Schmidt into the pits as well. Now I do think they're going to be a long way clear of Dominic Pester when they head out of the pits, he says. Lucas Seedorf stays out there in the Mercedes. He's going around for another lap. What about Alan McCain? He stays out for another lap as well. So Vincent Squibb back out on the track. It was McCain who overtook him. What about Stephen de Gravalia? He looks to be heading into the pits now. So his teammate stays out, but he himself is heading into the pits. All important pit stop for the bronze category here. If Stephen de Gravalia can keep it in first place. Mind you, Stein Vatens is yet to pit as well, but a lot of the bronze category drivers have pitted now. Nigel Stock with the fast lap of the race in the silver category. So he's doing well out there, yet to pit as well. Lucas Seedorf yet to pit. Here we go, Kieran Davidson with the fast lap of the race and a bit of a nudge of the rear there of the car in front. And just about got away with it, and Ben Altra nips ahead of him. Looking back there to Kieran Davidson, would he dive to the inside? Oh, he thought about it, but not to be. Ben Altra gets back out in front. Ben Altra, excuse me, with an instant in race one. Oh, he goes a little bit wide there, and that's inviting Kieran Davidson back in. Around the outside he goes. Can he complete it? He'll have the inside for the next corner, so that looks to be a pretty good move. And it is from Kevin Davidson. He's back in front into 6th place in category. Lucas Seedorf is in the pits. So be waiting for Brandon Schmidt and Ben McCluskey to pass by, and they're actually not far from the pits indeed. So they'll resume the lead of the race. Alan McCain is also in the pits. This is crucial for the battle for the win in silver category. Here goes Brandon Schmidt. He'll retake the lead here. Oh no, he won't. It'll be Craig Corrish who will lead a lap of this race. The last goal drivers to pit, I do believe. Alan McCain still in the pits. Lucas Seedorf heading back out on track. He will resume net third place. Dominic Pester here lost a lot of time, lost a lot of positions. He's in 7th by the seeming of it, probably net 6th place. And Alan McCain rejoins the track. He's in the lead at the silver category, and Brandon Vincent Squibb is back here. Has dropped a little bit of time, but Alan McCain, with getting alongside Vincent Squibb, forced Vincent Squibb to get on the brakes and swerve over to the pits a lot later than he probably would have wanted. That cost Vincent Squibb a lot of time, and that's ultimately giving McCain a healthier lead here. And in the bronze category, of course, Stephen de Gravelia still leading. Stein Vatens is now in the pits. He will drop behind Sammy Ariba, who is the fastest lap of the race there, but he's got a big gap to Stephen de Gravelia to still close in. 17 seconds. Craig Corrish will come into the pits now. And this will mean Brandon Schmidt will reassume the lead of the race. And there he goes. So most drivers have pitted now. And if you go offline, it's very, very wet out there, but staying on the racing line quite dry. And actually they're doing some very, very quick lap times. Fastest lap of the race now set by Jeffrey Kruger. He's the fastest gold category driver out there with 1:36.4. Gaz Williams alongside Jack Pittas. Gaz Williams has not had best of nights. He's had the 2 incidents in race 1 and race 2. Fastest lap of the race in silver category from Vincent Squibb. Through into 8th place goes Gaz Williams. Mark Baker and Matthew Cheverton here battling for 3rd place in silver category. Cheverton just on the outside there, trying the outside line, but he's going to have to try a different line to make the overtake. But Mark Baker, you can just tell here, is just hanging on to try and keep it in that podium spot. 1st and 2nd are well and truly gone for these two, Alan McCain and Vincent Squibb, who each of them have moved up 11 and 13 places in their category to get to where they are now. Cheverton to the inside. A bit isolated on the outside there is Baker, stuck behind the car in front, and through he goes. Cheverton into 3rd place in the silvers. Dominic Pester with the fastest lap of the race just then. Sorry, on the previous lap. It was a 1:35.8. Closing in on Ben Altry here. This will be for the top 5 in this race. But Ben Altry has had a good recovery in this race to get himself into 5th place there. 5 seconds between Brandon Schmidt and Ben McCluskey, so it's divvied up between them two. Whilst all the pit stops went on, Brandon Schmidt could well be on his way to a race win here. And I can't remember seeing the Akiri Cole Dosseur team winning a race in this series in any category, actually, so this could be a bit of a breakthrough race for them. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, Sami Ariba is by far the fastest in the bronze category right now, lapping seconds quicker than everyone else around him. He was a second quicker than Stephen de Grevelier on the last lap just then, but Stephen de Grevelier will know the gap he has, well, potentially will know the gap he has in this category. He might well start to relax a little bit and just bring it home. Oh, battle between Ben Altria and Dominic Pesta. Ben Altria fighting his way back through on that final corner there. See if Pesta will go for the move into turn number 1. A little bit of a bad front end on Ben Altria's car there. Out onto the wet stuff goes Dominic Pesta. He has to brake a little early. Oh, and it's getting very, very squirrely underneath him. And he just about squeezes it in front of Ben Altria. A little bit of contact to go along with it, but to be fair to Pesta, he was on the wet stuff there, and that's the risk of overtaking. Now it's going to be very difficult for anyone to overtake while the track is still extremely wet offline. Oh, and Alan McCain has dropped off quite a lot. He's lost a few places overall, and he's lost a lot of time to Vincent Squibb. So we'll see if anything's happened to him. Lost something here. So this was when Alan McCain was in the lead. Oh, contact with the car on the inside there. That sends him round, and you know what? A curse returns for McCain, leading this race, and now he's dropped back to second place as a result of that incident. Oh, and the car rejoining just alongside him there. But he's got a lot of time between him and first place, so it's going to be a little bit tricky for him to re-salvage a win. Vincent Squibb is back on track to secure a maximum points victory tonight if the fastest laps are in his favour, which they aren't. Goes to someone else in silver category who I can't actually see who it is. Over 17 minutes left in this race. Dominic Pesta, fastest lap in the gold category. It is still getting quicker and quicker, ever so slightly, for the drivers out there. They're now into the 35s. We'll see if Dominic Pesta can get himself into third place. He's not too far behind Lucas Seedor, actually. They are teammates, though, so that we'll have to see how that, if it does, come to be a battle between them. Running off a wide there was Kieran Davidson. That'll lose him a little bit of time. It'll make the car a little bit unstable. Seems to be okay through that corner, but it would have lost him a little bit of time to Dominic Pesta. Sami Ariba with another fastest lap of the race in bronze category. The time is coming down. It was only 16 seconds just a few laps ago, and it's now less than 13 seconds. And on that last lap, actually, Sami Ariba was 2.5 seconds quicker than Stephen de Grevelier. So he's really pushing, is Sami Ariba. Yet to win a racing bronze category, I do believe. You know what they say, it's not over until the lady sings. Davidson behind Pesta there. We knew Pesta was going to find his way past. He's very, very quick out there. It's just whether he can catch up with his teammate Lucas Seedor and get onto the podium. That will at least give him points, more points to contend with Benji McCluskey in the championship. This round, it is very much between them two at the top of the pile. And of course, Brandon Schmidt, you can't forget him as well. He's picked up 4th place and potentially a 1st place right here. Jeffrey Kruger with the fastest lap of the race at the moment in gold category. And I think that might have just been swiped away from him. No, it hasn't. It's still to him. Another lap completed. A quarter of the race to go for Brandon Schmidt. Well in control of this race. 3 seconds clear. The time has come down a little bit between him and Ben McCluskey in the last few laps. But that's quite a big gap when you're looking at the gold category here. 36.5 for him. And Ben McCluskey with the fastest lap of the race. So that is a second difference. So Ben McCluskey's not given up yet. Bit of slipstream ahead of him as well as the back marker of Kurt Van Honegger gets out of the way. Ben Outria is closing in on Kieran Davidson again here. We might see the battle between these two. Ben Outria might be able to squeeze on to the top 5 in this race. Getting real close to Davidson now. Jochen Seeger in the bronze category is going quick as well. We can see he's got the bonus points at the moment. The bronze category. Stevie de Gravelli is in the pits. Leading the bronze category, he's in the pits. Now I wonder if he hasn't got enough fuel, and that's why he's in. But this is surely going to give up the lead in the bronze category. Hands it over to Sammy Arriba, so not sure what's happened to Steve there. But Sammy takes over the lead of the bronze category. Hasn't won, to my knowledge, in the bronze category. Joined last season, the season before last. For Quatermass moved over to Mission R. And in the opening round of the season could pick up his first win. Take a look to Steve de Gravelli, what's happening to him there. He's dropped to 3rd place now. Kurt Van Honegger has taken over 2nd place. Well, if it's fuel, he's definitely put in a lot more. Not too sure. I'll have to find out what's happened to Steve after the race. But a new leader in the bronze category. Going to have 2 different winners in 2 categories in this race. 1 repeat winner, which is Vincent Squibb. Still going to be 2 Mission R cars winning races in this round. Of course, there are 4 Mission R teams this season. So a big contingent of their drivers in the field here. Now, the gap between Schmidt and McCluskey, it has come down a lot in this lap. Their times on the last lap were identical, but on this lap I've got a feeling it might be slightly different. This race is not over, just over 10 minutes to go. Schmidt and McCluskey might well have a battle to the end. 1.2 seconds quicker on that last lap. Schmidt trying to muscle his way through these back markers. In fact, that was his teammate. He just muscled his way past. McCluskey closing in. That's the thing, when McCluskey gets in the zone, he's almost unbeatable in this series. He takes his time to pick off drivers one by one, lap by lap. He just focuses on consistency, nice clean driving. That ahead of him is not Schmidt, that is... Oh, hang on a minute, Matthew Cheverton heading out of the pit, so he's had to... No? Matthew Cheverton might have had a disconnection here. Just noticed him dropping down the order. Yeah, he's still dropping down. Yeah, I think Matthew Cheverton's had a disconnection here. Oh dear. Seems to be happening more and more, those gremlins. That is a big shame for Matthew Cheverton if that has happened. Hate seeing that. Really do hate seeing that, because that's kind of out of the driver's control. And that will promote a lot of drivers up one place in the silver category, including Mark Baker. Third place right now, not too far behind Alan McCain actually. Could put in a challenge for second. McCain has dropped off a little bit more time since his incident earlier to Vincent Squibb. Second between Schmidt and McCluskey. And McCluskey opting to still drive for the Mustang this season. His championship winning season he was in the Ferrari. But a lot of the drivers still favouring the Mustang at the moment. It's probably still the more popular car in the field. Porsche is still quite popular as well, albeit there's a lot less of them this season, but the Lamborghini is a lot more popular this season, which is good to see. It's a lovely sounding and looking car. A lot more Mercedes in the field this season as well. Minutes to go in this race. Not that many battles out there. The closest battle out there is Adam Wilson-Weir trying to get by Jamie Dory. Jamie Dory, who led quite a few laps at the start of this race, is defending to keep his top 10 this race in category. And they've got Stephen de Grevelier just ahead of him there, who is now in third place in category, having taken that pit stop, dropped down a lot of places. Remains to be seen for me if he went in for tyres or if he went in for extra fuel. He'll move out of the way of these drivers now. Near incident between the two Clark St James Motorsports cars, Craig Porsche and Hartley Price. Struggling for a grip there. Oh, as Sean Sue nips up the inside there, holding the outside around the corner, and through he goes. Another position lost there for Hartley Price, and he's got the silver category drivers queuing up behind him. Matthew Addy, by the way, fourth place for him in silver category right now. It's got to be said, big well done to him. He had no practice earlier on tonight, didn't take part in qualifying, didn't take part in the sprint race, and yet he's finished fourth place in silver category. Well, he's in fourth place right now in the silver category, so that is real good going from Matthew Addy actually on late arrival tonight. Now towards the front, Schmidt and McCluskey, less than a second between them. This could get interesting as we head towards the end of the race. Now Matthew Cheverton is back out on the track, I'm seeing. So he's managed to regain connection, is back out on track. He'll do that to make sure he collects points. Points means help for the championship. Of course, drivers do get a drop round in this championship as well. Now, what you don't want is for you to force take it early on in the season, and that would have happened for a few drivers here. Stephan Wessels might be one of them. It might end up being that for Matthew Cheverton. But McCluskey is, just to change the subject there, is really pushing it here. He's gaining on Schmidt. He has the opportunity here in the last 5 minutes of the race coming up, so we'll have 3 or 4 laps for him to properly go for a win in this gold category here. Dominic Pester will be hoping he doesn't for the sake of his championship lead. Stephen Fry with the fastest lap in the silver category. He'll take the bonus points as it stands. Less than 4/10 between them. He's really pushing it, is McCluskey. Oh, and out onto the wet stuff goes Schmidt. That's going to slow him down a little bit. And look how close McCluskey has got under braking into this corner here. Looking all around him. To the outside he goes. Now ducks back under. Now we know McCluskey quite well. He doesn't go for diving moves into corners like this one we've just seen. He might well wait for the main straight unless he can pick something out here. Doesn't guard in the inside quite snugly. There is Schmidt. Thought about it, did McCluskey. Just trying to line something up here. There's going to be a lot of slipstream help for Schmidt on this main straight here. Keep an eye on McCluskey. The thing is, Schmidt, as I said, is getting a lot of slipstream help here. Oh, he thought about it, did McCluskey. Trying to lure Schmidt maybe into a late break or a too late break, but it didn't work that time around. A lot of back markers here. Schmidt will want these guys out of the way, or will he? Because these might be helping him along a little bit. Oh, as he dives to the inside, going into turn number 3 there. Back markers getting out the way. The stewards, or the live stewards, live race control, will be telling the back markers they're receiving a blue flag. Round the Mission car he goes. That was Sammy Ariba, leader of the bronze category. Leader of the bronze category by a long way as well. This is a significantly more comfortable lap for Schmidt, but Lucas Seedor has dropped off. Oh, he did drop off temporarily. But to his inside goes. Sorry, it's a little bit confused there. That was all the. That was all of the Sorrento Motorsports cars all in one there, and I thought Pester had gone for the move on Seedor. But Pester is getting closer and closer to Seedor, so I do wonder if there'll be a tactical swap of positions at the end of this race. Onto the wet stuff goes Schmidt to protect his line into turn 1. There's going to be 2 laps to go. On the inside is McCluskey. Schmidt holds it round the outside. Can he parry out? No, he won't. I think he's going to relinquish it here. McCluskey might well get it in front. Yes, he does. Taking the lead is the Season 6 champion. But Schmidt will fight this back. McCluskey has been well in control and by far the faster driver in the last few laps. So will Schmidt be able to fight this back? But McCluskey has done this so often, where he leaves his best pace to the final part of the race, and that's when he'll make the moves for first place and secure the wins. He's done it so many times, and he's done it yet again here tonight as it stands. And Schmidt fired back though, real tight up the rear there. Can he make a surprise move? Not in this corner. But we have got a big long straight awaiting us. We'll see the white flag on approach to it. Matthew Addy back into 4th place there. He's having a battle by the looks of it with Nigel Stock. And a 6/10 gap. We are seeing the white flag. It is going to be the final lap of the race for all the drivers now. time is coming down quite rapidly between Alan McCain and Vincent Squibb. Vincent Squibb's had an incident, and I do wonder if his car is damaged. It's not got the meatball flag, but I wonder if his pace is going to be compromised a little bit here. McCain is real close. He might have a chance to get his position back. This is what's happened to Vincent Squibb in those last few moments. Hits the curb, spins round. Wow, crucial mistakes in the final few moments. Stephen De Cavalier flashing the lights there. Or is that Stephen Fry? Can't quite work out which one it is. We are going to switch back to our leaders though, because holding off for another lap here and extending his lead actually. Ben McCluskey's back on the top step of the podium. He would have felt terrible heading out of the last season, but he'll feel great heading out of this round, as he will just about, I believe, be the championship leader after tonight. Ben McCluskey wins the feature race here at Fuji, with Brandon Schmidt coming through in second place. Lucas Seedor will come through in third place here. A good recovery race to get some points in race 3 following his disconnection from 1. Now Vincent Squibb has managed to compose himself here and complete the race, complete the lap. Well, potentially. A few more corners to go, but a bit of a scary moment for him at the end of the race there. But it's looking to be a near perfect lap and race for him. Near perfect round. Just that mistake towards the end there. Oh, hang on a minute. He stamped on the brakes there for one reason or another. What is he doing? Alan Kane will take back over the lead here. I'm not sure what's going on there. Has Vincent Squibb run out of fuel? I think he might have run out of fuel. So that might have given Alan McCain the win in the race there. Yeah, he's out of fuel. Oh my words. Can this series please stop delivering drama? Yeah, he's out of fuel. Brandon Vincent Squibb runs out of fuel on the final straight and loses the race. Alan McCain wasn't sure what was going on there. You could just tell he wasn't sure. But he takes the win. His first win in category for a very long time. And we didn't see him coming across the line, unfortunately. That's a shame there. But Sami Ariba wins the bronze category. His first ever category win, I do believe. And Mission R have dominated bronze category again in this round, similar to what they had last season. But unbelievable scenes in the silver category in that race there. And Alan McCain will have his first category win that I've seen in my broadcasting days at the NXTGEN GT3 or Thursday night series. But what I have seen many times, and he'll pick up another win. That'll be his 16th win. And he'll extend his record as the most wins in NXTGEN Racing. Well, now that drama's over, let's review the results of that dramatic race. So we'll start with the gold category. It's a win for Ben McCluskey by 1.3 seconds, taking the win in the race with an overtake in the final few laps of that race on Brandon Schmidt, who's driven a great pair of races tonight. finished second in this feature race. Lucas Seidel in third position. He had the disconnection in race 1, but race 2 here, he has fought his way back through the pack and got himself third place. Dominic Pesta, winner of race 1. He takes fourth in this one. He went with a different strategy in this race, but it didn't quite pay off. He gets himself fourth place. Ben Altria, good night for him in 5th place there for the feature race. And Jack Pittas, good finish in 6th place. Carl Griffiths, a podium in race 1, but 7th place in this race, with Jamie Dory, who led a couple of laps in this race, finished 8th place. Harry Hartley-Price in 9th position, with Kieran Davidson in 10th. Gaz Williams, a tough night for him, is 11th. Sean Shute in 12th, from Adam Wilson-Weir in 13th. 14th is Craig Corish. 15th, Jeffrey Kruger. 16th, Andy White. And Stephan Wessels, another DNF for him. A terrible start to the season for the champion. And in the silver category, Alan McCain takes the win in dramatic fashion, and his first category win that I've seen, so not sure if the curse is lifted. It was a bit of a strange ending there, but he has the win in the silver category from Brandon Vincent Squibb, who won the sprint race and looked to be on course to win this feature race, but ran out of fuel on the final straight and therefore lost the win. Mark Baker on the podium. It's been a long time coming, finishing on the podium there, but Mark Baker, a good result for him in this race, making it a very successful night for the Akuri Coldwasser team. Nigel Stock, 4th place from Matthew Addy, who didn't attend the sprint race, so from the back of the grid, that's a very good performance from Matthew Addy to get to 5th place. George Stone, a strong 6th place, and a lap or more down were the following drivers of Dirk Wagner, Stephen Fry, Wesley Lewin, Jason Raff, Ryan Blackie, Paul Williams, Phil McDougall, Matthew Cheverton, who had the disconnection but rejoined, and DNFs for Tim Reed and Jopi Siemens. Bronze category, it's a win for Sammy Ariba. Leading the majority of the race was Stephen de Grevelier, but a late, unscheduled pit stop for him dropped him to 3rd place. Kurt Van Honecker, in his return to the series, will go to 2nd place in this race, with Stephen de Grevelier, we just mentioned, in 3rd place there. His compatriot, but Mission R driver Stein Vatens in 4th position, from Mark Sykes, Mr. Next Gen himself in 5th place, and Elwyn Sykes in 6th position. Davide Favo in the CSA car in 7th position from Jochen Seeger. Shorty Clark in 9th, and rounding off the top 10 is Oliver Forstrom. Maciej Kiziel in 11th place from Matt Gatter in 12th. Jonathan Berry in 13th, and Robert Savage in 14th. Now, we do have championship points already loaded. Now, I just need to load them in here. Now, this is relatively untested at the moment, so we'll see if it works out for us. So, as we head out of tonight, this is going to be our championship standings. Start with the gold category, and it is the championship lead on 41 points. Leading by 4 points from Dominic Pesta is Benjamin McCluskey. In 3rd place is Brandon Schmidt, having a good performance for himself tonight. Carl Griffiths, a podium finish for him tonight, is 4th. Jack Pittas in 5th from Harry Hartley-Price. Lucas Seidel, who retired in race 1 due to a disconnection, 7th from Jamie Dory in 8th. Kieran Davidson in 9th, and Ben Altria in 10th. Silver category, Brandon Vincent Squibb in the top spot, 4 points clear of Alan McCain, who won the second race. Andy White, 3rd place, he got himself a podium in the first race, and George Stone, good consistent results for him tonight, is in 4th. Jason Raff, 5th position from Nigel Stock in 6th. Mark Baker, who picked up a podium in that feature race, is 7th from Stephen Fry in 8th. Matthew Cheverton, disconnection in that last race, is 9th from Dirk Wagner in 10th. Bronze category, and it's Sammy Ariba at the top of the standings. Good performance from him tonight. 8 points clear of Stein Vatens, his teammate, in 2nd place. Wesley Lewin in 3rd position from Mark Sykes. Kurt Van Honecker, 5th from Oliver Forstrom in 6th. And Stephen de Grevelier, who picked up the podium in the feature race, is 7th. Jochen Seeger, 8th. John Berry, who won the sprint race, is 9th from Davide Favo in 10th. And the teams, Mission are unsurprisingly leading that, with Jonathan Berry and Brandon Vincent Squibb, both of which won the sprint races. Both would have preferred better luck in the feature races, but they still come out of round 1 as leaders of the team's championship by 5 points from Sorrento Motorsports, where their drivers, all of them, picked up a podium each tonight. Mission are powered by Mords. Sammy Ariba, winner of the bronze category, is the main point scorer for them, with George Stone also picking up the points. They're third in the championship heading out tonight. And Crest Autosport Porsche, 4th position, with Alan McCain's race win in the feature race. And Akiri Cole Doisseur, Brandon Schmidt with the good results tonight. Likewise with Mark Baker, both of the aforementioned drivers picking up podium placings. There we go. We're going to go for interviews now. So first of all, we have got the winners of bronze and silver category waiting for us in the interview booth. So I think we'll go in the good old order of gold, silver, bronze, and we'll start with silver. And we very rarely get Ben McCluskey in the comms booth with us, so maybe another time. But first of all, we are going to chat to our silver category winner in the feature race. Then we're going to talk to Alan McCain. So Alan, a bit of a strange win there. Now, it's actually the first time I've ever seen you win a race in Next Gen, so I'm actually very, very happy right now. But it was a very strange win, and I could see you were a little bit confused as well as to what was going on. And I can confirm Brandon ran out of fuel, but what was kind of going through your head at the end of that race there?
I knew coming onto the last corner that I hadn't enough fuel to cross the line, and I was just praying that he hadn't enough fuel. He had slowed down to try and gather fuel back. I didn't actually think I had won it. I thought Mark Becker had passed me before the line, but the line I was thinking on was further on down. But it's nice to break the donkey's back, as they say, and get my first GT3 win for Next Gen, even when I've changed to a new team now. It's all about the teamwork.
You're not paid to say that either. So so a brand new team for you, brand new look this season, and already off to a win. Like, to be honest, you were leading quite a lot of the race then. You had a very strong grasp of the win there. What kind of happened that kind of let go of the race lead earlier on in that race?
I approached 2 back markers coming out of turn 1. One of them lifted off. The other one didn't lift off as much, and then braked late on the apex of a corner and hit me in the door. Spun me out. And then a few laps later, then I spun it myself because I hit a wet patch on the last corner. I went too wide on entry and hit a wet patch and just lost it. And then unfortunate for Matt Sheverton, but he had a dropout, internet dropout, which gave me back to second again. And then Brandon had fuel problems, so that's why I caught him. It's just luck of the draw. I was very frustrated after getting taken out, but gathered myself and my thoughts back together again and just kept the head down.
And that's how you do it, yeah. Just going to take a look at that instant again. I think we got it. You're just approaching the back marker there, who's on the inside, but you enter the corner the same time they enter the corner. You could argue that they could have dealt with it a little bit better. You could argue that, couldn't you? But it's one of those things, isn't it? But you know what? In the end, you did pick up the win. It's going to feel a little bit strange considering what happened at the end there. But a win's a win, eh? But what are your plans this season? Yeah, exactly. So what are your plans this season? Like, what are you hoping to achieve? Because last season you just about got off top 5, I think it was, in silver.
I'm hoping to be within the top 3 of silver this year. There's a few tracks that doesn't really suit my kind of driving style, but we'll see. What will come will come. If it's for me, I'll get it. If it's not, well, we'll always try again.
Well, you mentioned there's a few tracks that don't suit you, but next week is Red Bull Ring. How is that track for yourself?
That's one of my more favourite tracks, shall we say.
And I got a feeling the Porsche might be good there with its ability to get out the corners. Am I right?
Nah, I haven't actually raced the Porsche there yet, but yeah, I think you might be right, yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. Well, the the curse is lifted, Alan. Finally, maybe it's moving teams. Who knows? But maybe I shouldn't get caught saying that on broadcast. But hey-ho. Yeah, a win's a win. Big congratulations, Alan. You can sleep easy tonight thinking about the win. But we'll see you next time at Red Bull Ring. Well done tonight. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast before we head off?
Yourself for doing a great broadcast, and Next Gen for putting on the racing, and all the drivers that has taken part to make it an actual proper good race.
And it was a very good race indeed. Lovely. Thanks very much, Alan. Well done tonight. Fantastic racing. We'll see you next week at the Red Bull Ring.
That'll do. Thank you.
Brilliant stuff from Alan McCain, winning race 2 in dramatic fashion. Led the majority of the race, as he mentioned, and we saw the incident just a moment ago, and there might be we might catch when he caught the car again later on in the race. Let me see if I can find... There we go. I think I found it, actually. Not long after he left the pits, actually. So this is the other incident that Alan was just talking about. Oh, it just breaks away there. Yeah, it's broken away on the exit of the corner there. So a frustrating race for Alan, but even still won the race, and that just goes to show how much of a dramatic race it was for the silver category. But his rival, Brandon Vincent Squibb, won the sprint race as well, and will lead the championship in the silver category heading out of this round. So we have got another interview lined up for us. We have got the winner of the bronze category heading into the comms booth now. First time I think we're ever speaking to Sammy Ariba. Yep, your mic's working, that's good. Sammy, well done, mate. Bronze category win, your first ever, I do believe.
That's correct, yes. Thank you very much for having me, Alex.
No worries, mate. Just tell us how you're feeling after that. It was a little bit strange seeing what happened to Steve during that race, but still, you opened up a huge lead in the end there, so it must feel great right now.
To be honest, I had no idea what was going on until John went into the group chat and then just said out loud P1 Sammy, and I was like, no way. Yeah, no way. I don't know, I think the race just was perfect for me. Strategy wise, not pushing too hard in the wet, having enough fuel, and just going for it pretty much. Yeah, the first race didn't really go my way, but I'm really happy how the second race turned out. I'm gonna have to watch the replay tonight or maybe tomorrow evening.
Absolutely, yeah. The perfect race is so satisfying. I know that all too well. So yeah, last season there were a couple of good performances here and there, but generally it was your first proper season, your first full proper season. Is it safe to say that last season was a little bit of the learning curve for you, and now this season is, right, I'm going to give this a good go?
You've hit the nail on the head there, yeah. So first season was just like a beta completely, just testing it out, seeing where I go wrong, for example, the fuel. And then coming into this season, saying, let me actually get stuck in with everything I've learned from the first season, and taking notes from the other drivers in the team.
Well, let's talk about the team, actually. Michelin, with 4 teams this season, an ever-growing entity in this championship. How are the dynamics in the camp at the moment at Michelin? Because it seems a very tight-knit unit, because you guys just keep winning races at the moment. Yeah, I'm going to have to give a shout out to everyone in the team. John, Adam, Rob, everyone. There's so many of us in there, I can't really name everyone off the bat like this. But yeah, like you said, we're a close knit community where we all push each other on track and have loads of like practice sessions, as you've probably seen in the chats. And yeah, that we just bounce off things we've learned from each other. At the end of the day, we win together and we lose together. And yeah, and this wins for the team. It's not just solely for me; it's for the whole team as well. Oh, fantastic stuff. And please pass on a message to whoever designed the livery on the Lamborghini. That's very nice. That's very nice.
It's awesome. It does look amazing, yeah.
It is great. I'll have to have a look at it before we head off later on. But yeah, very, very good. So what about this season? What's your overall plan for this season? Are you going for top spots, or are you just... Well, what are your targets, really?
Honestly, my targets is to just do better than last season. I don't want to over-promise for no reason and stress myself out. To be honest, most of us probably do this just for fun, and that's about it. And having a great community and sharing things together. But yeah, key thing is to do better than last season. Absolutely
great. And it's a good start to that already. But what about next week? We got the Red Bull Ring coming up next week. Given tonight, wet weather might be a threat there as well, particularly as we're heading towards autumn and winter. But how about Red Bull Ring next week? Is that a track you particularly favour?
Fingers crossed it's a wet race, because the Porsche shines in a wet race, and I kind of have a liking to it. Hopefully that should help me out a bit. I'm not sure I'll come first again, but you never know. Like this race, I just get a shout out from John saying P1, and then yeah. Hopefully maybe the same thing. Maybe hopefully John will finish the race and someone else will shout me P1.
Yeah, you were shouting P2 a lot last season, weren't he? Anyway, yeah, just before we head off here, Sammy, you've given a lot of shout-outs already, but is there any more you want to give out on the broadcast while you got a chance here?
Family and friends, the sponsors, especially sponsors, family and friends, and everyone that's watching, and NXTGEN for hosting this season, and you. Thank you very much.
No worries at all. Well done, Sammy. A breakthrough win. Well deserved as well. It was superb driving tonight. Good luck next week, and we'll see you next week at the Red Bull Ring.
See you next week. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
There we go. Superb. Well, pretty good night, actually, from Michelin yet again. As I said earlier, they just keep winning races. They just missed out in the silver category in that feature race, but they won silver and bronze in the sprint race, and they won bronze in the feature race, and they have scored a lot of points out of tonight as well. Right, we're going to move on to our last interview of the night. I believe it will be the last interview of the night. But we're going to just chat to Matthew Cheverton next in the silver category. Now, Matt, welcome to the comms booth yet again, mates. Thanks for joining us. Just want to ask straight off the bat, Matt. What happened in race 2? Was it a disconnection? And just kind of tell us from your eyes what actually happened.
Yeah, right. So I have just moved in to a new flat in Milton Keynes, because obviously doing the Silverstone College. We haven't got our internet yet. We're supposed to have BT, however they're being annoying and saying they need 2 weeks to deliver it, and there's only about 1 week left.
I know that well.
Yeah, so we got a mini hub, but it's battery powered, and the battery ran out. So I got so as soon as that went out, I went with it.
Oh no. I'm surprised you're racing at all with that. That's quite astonishing, really.
I'm very lucky that it does sort of hold iRacing quite well, to be fair. I had a few blips in and out, but like I say, at least I'm here and scraped a few points, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. And race 1 was pretty good race, actually. You couldn't quite catch up to Brandon in race 1, but generally race 1 was a pretty good race for you, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to win it, you know.
Well, we know that. Yeah.
If you ain't first, you're last. So yeah, it was just a bit too quick. But considering, well, from what those Michelin guys say in the chat, they do like 200 odd laps for a track, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I had about 10. Managed to have an hour to myself earlier today to get a few, hoping that the Wi-Fi would hold up. So I'm quite happy that I got what I got. Obviously, I had to qualify well. Obviously, at the moment, I am a one-horse team. The others are coming, but not for a while, so I had to steal. I think I stole off the draft off a Quartermass car. Being a bit of a thief there, so managed to get to second, and then tried to hunt him down, but then you had quicker golds coming up, and sort of like in the touring cars at the moment with the blue and oranges, you pick your fights. It's like usually I'd be like bull in a china shop, make the highlight reel, but I was like, I'm glad I'm here. Let me just score some good points for a second. That's good enough.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, when can we expect? You just mentioned Jake and Gab are missing at the moment, which we didn't see him racing tonight. When can we expect them to be back?
Well, considering Jake is my roommate, unfortunately the hub doesn't work for him, so he has to wait. He's either got to sort out something with his hotspot, we have to wait to the Wi-Fi. So I'd say round 3 for him. Gabriel comes back from uni or for his masters back in the country late September. So I'd say race 3, 4. We'll have the whole team back. So at the moment it's just me and the Mustang.
Jake's Welsh. He's used to having rubbish internet. I'm Welsh, by the way, just so everyone's aware. But yeah, looking forward to having the guys back. But what's your kind of ambition for this season? You just missed out on the championship last year. It was a great battle between you and Jeffrey all season long. I would say you got the good end of the stick being in the silver category again. I was half expecting you to be in gold category, but I digress. So what's your kind of plan this season? I'm assuming you're just going to say go and win it, but you know, after tonight, what's your thinking going forward?
I mean, if there's a way, if there's a will, there's a way. The main goal obviously is to win it. I mean, I've been going at the silver crown in the Mustang specifically ever since it got released last year. So if I can sort of give it the championship it deserves and then, you know, drive something different, I mean, that would be the ultimate goal and I'd be happy with that. But after tonight, I think I might be missing next round at Austria as well, so I might have to do a rethink, because come round 3 there's a very pretty little Aston Martin joining the grid, and I'm quite fond of it, so I'll have to make the decision of do I stick with the Mustang and try and go all out, or do I give the new car a go.
Oh, it's an Aston Martin. You can't not, can you? Yeah,
it's very tempting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing that as well. So we'll see what happens from round 3 onwards. So you're not here next week, just to confirm, at the Red Bull Ring?
Well, I'll have to double check. I believe I'm not, but sometimes my schedule gets flipped up and down every single day. So it's a we'll see. It's a we'll see.
Well, we'll see, but let's look ahead to round 3 then. Spa-Francorchamps will be your next round, which will be the first endurance round of the season. Now, given that you might lose a lot of points next round, you might end up being quite high up on the grid. But what about Spa? Is that how's that track for yourself? Normally, it's a favourite amongst some.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like it, but then so does everyone else. Usually you find that it's a track where because it's such a popular track, all of the drivers are pretty close, so it'll just be tenths and 100ths that separate us, so I imagine it'll be close, but I have obviously the benefit. Spa usually favours the front engine cars, and obviously being in the Mustang, a rejuvenated one with the new tyre model, by the way, all the old problems of the car have been completely fixed with the tyre model, so it is a monster, as sort of been seen in the weekly series, so so it's high confidence. So obviously we've got to start. To be fair, if I missed so many rounds, I'd probably start nearer the front of the grid, because obviously it's reverse grid start. So
yeah, exactly. So it helps you out.
We might be able to do something good there.
We'll have to see. Looking forward to it. Anybody you want to give a shout out to might be watching the broadcast, Matt? The floor is yours.
Yeah, obviously shout out to the team and sponsors, as always, for their continued support. I'm not sure if they're watching this time out, but shout out to obviously family for watching along, supporting me. Obviously, a bit of a tipsy-turvy one this time, but I think I'm quite lucky to the fact I was able to just race for almost all of it. Only missed about 6 minutes, annoyingly. But yeah, big shout out to those guys.
And I think we just saw the moment on broadcast where your internet went. Your car just kind of swerved to the right there. Very strange. But
Yep.
unless that was the end of the race. Not
That
sure.
might have been an end of race frustration.
Lovely. Okay, so yeah, thanks very much, Matt. Thanks for joining us in the comms booth again. Well done tonight, despite the disconnection. We'll see you next time, hopefully at Red Bull Ring. If not, we'll see you at Spa.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you very much.
There we go. That was Matthew Cheverton. So we're just going to go through the results before we head off for the end of this live stream. Gold category. Top 3 was as follows. Ben McCluskey takes the win in the feature race from Brandon Schmidt and Lucas Seedor in 3rd place. And of course, Dominic Pester was the winner of the sprint race earlier on in the night. Silver category, it's a win for Alan McCain, his first winning category in the GT3s, as he mentioned. He takes his first win in dramatic fashion with Brandon Vincent-Squibb running out of fuel on the final straight. But he took the sprint race win earlier on as well, so it's still a good load of points heading out of tonight for Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Mark Baker, 3rd place. First time I've seen him on the podium in silver category. A good performance from him tonight. Bronze category, Sami Ariba with his first win in category in the series since he joined. Taking a win for Mission R Motorsport, his first win as we mentioned. Kurt Van Honegger in 2nd place, a good finish to this feature race upon his return to the series. And Stephen de Grevelia, who led the majority of the race but had an unscheduled pit stop due to having too little amount of fuel. But he eventually came through with still a pretty good 3rd place finish. And the winner of the sprint race was Jonathan Berry, who retired from this feature race. And just a reminder of the championship standings heading out of tonight. Gold category, leading the championship is Ben McCluskey, looking to get back that championship he so wanted last season, but he was swiped away from him due to the powers of the internet. And Dominic Pester, 2nd place for him. He's certainly going to be a force to be reckoned with in this championship, so let's look out for him in the next round. Likewise with Brandon Schmidt in 3rd place. Silver category, Brandon Vincent-Squibb takes the championship lead heading out of tonight with 1st and 2nd place in the 2 races tonight. And Alan McCain with a strong performance, 2nd place for him, only 4 points down. Andy White, podium finish in the sprint race. He heads out of tonight in 3rd position. Bronze category, Sami Ariba in 1st position leads the championship heading out tonight with his win in the feature race and podium in the sprint race, with Stein Vatens in 2nd place and Wesley Lewin in 3rd. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That has been round 1 of the championship here at Fuji International Speedway. Next up is the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Austria, the Styrian Mountains in the centre of Europe. That's the 2nd round of the championship coming up next week on NXTGEN Racing on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, please do follow the channel or subscribe, whichever you're watching from, to keep an eye on NXTGEN Racing's broadcasts and news. That is released weekly every time there is a race on at NXTGEN Racing. We're next up at the Red Bull Ring. Really looking forward to it. This has been the NXTGEN Racing GT3 Season 8, Round 1 of the Championship. I'm Alex Everett, your commentator for the series and tonight. So a big thank you to the partners, sponsors and affiliates of the Championship, who are PowerMaxed, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falcon PC, and Doble Motorcycles. Thank you very much for watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time at the Red Bull Ring. Good night for now. Okay.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.